What's going on, everybody? We are live on Detroit Lions Powerhouse, episode number 1 of Grit Don't Quit. And friend, Cy Gray. What is going on, Cy Gray?
Hey, what's up, Trox? What's going on, good people? Welcome to the new broadcast. Trying to put something together that's new for us as Detroit Lion lovers. We got some great things going to be happening in 2023 and in the foreseeable future. So I'm ready to talk about it, man. I'm very, very excited, man, and very happy to be here. So thank you for having me on the platform as well, Trox.
Hey, anytime, brother, anytime.
Yes,
So we
sir.
got some breaking news.
Woo.
Shout out to you. You did break it to me because while I was trying to set up, he got the notification and
Yeah.
looks like we got a new running back and assistant head coach.
Wow.
Uh, Let me find his name real quick. It is Scotty Montgomery.
Scotty Montgomery. Yeah, man, I'm kind of shocked by this one. Of all the potential candidates, we pull up somebody that's I think a relative unknown, but I guess he's coming out of the coach camp. He was there a couple of years as a running back coach, and he did have some effect on Jonathan Taylor, the number one rushing offense the year before last in the NFL. So I think he was a receiver for played a couple of years in the NFL. I know he was a wide receivers coach at the University of Duke, and I guess just recently he switched over to running backs coach and found some success. So I know you had somebody in mind, Trucks. Uh,
Man, I did. And hey, it looks like my thumbnail already went outdated because the guy that I had is on my thumbnail, and that is Dell McGee. I thought he would have been a
gosh,
perfect fit because University of Georgia, who came out of there, none other than DeAndre Swift.
yeah, yeah,
So, I thought he would have been able to get the most out of DeAndre because he had firsthand dibs on him back at the University of Georgia.
yeah,
And then if we decide to go in the draft and maybe go another Georgia guy, bring that Georgia love that we love to do, I guess. You know, there's some correlation there, and there's not a big step towards like, okay, hey, look, this is the NFL where he kind of knows, okay, hey, look, let's bring them on this way. Coach Campbell, let's bring them on this way, and then this is how we can utilize them to their full advantage to where we can get the most out of our run game.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it kind of makes sense, man. I mean, let's kind of backtrack a little bit. Let's talk about why we have this particular vacancy. We lost Deuce Staley,
Yes.
assistant head coach slash running back coach. And I know it's been a lot of chatter. I guess his mother was ailing and he
Yeah.
took a job up in
Prayers up.
Carolina. Yeah, yeah. So definitely prayers up to him. I guess maybe I'm in a minority. Kind of just facts over feelings here. So definitely that's a separate issue. But in my opinion, man, I'm not really pressed about losing Deuce Staley. I mean, I like it, and you and I have had conversations about it in the past. I do. We come from a school where it's all about tough love. And Deuce definitely represents tough love. He embodies it. But the problem is there's a disconnect with all these younger folks, man. You're talking
Yeah.
about pampered AAU. Sometimes, I mean, I guess you can call them prima donnas a bit, but I just think Deuce for Detroit, I get the experience. I think our running game was aided by his presence, but I think it was sort of, a double-edged sword because it kind of hurt DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I brought up, this modern athlete, not to say that he's soft, but Deuce is pretty tough, man. So,
He fits
and I
that
think,
Jamal Williams role
yeah,
where,
he's perfect for Jamal, but
hey,
not
don't
for,
hey,
yeah,
don't get these tears twisted. It's all
yeah,
dog
yeah.
behind
Ain't
this.
nothing soft about that. Yeah, that's my guy. I like both our running backs, man, but I just
Yeah.
think overall, Deuce was not well received in Philly. He never got a chance to sniff the head coach job, which looks like they made the right decision on that one, right?
Yeah.
He comes here. Expectation is he's the assistant head coach, but I think he was hurting. To be honest, he was hurting DeAndre Swift. They didn't seem to have the best relationship. So, I welcome this new guy with open arms, see what he's capable of, and I don't know much about him, Scotty Montgomery, but you know, in Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, we trust, right? It's
Hey,
been
absolutely.
so from
I
what I
mean,
understand, it is Dan Campbell's guy.
yeah, absolutely. And that's where I might not know him. I might not think he's all this and all that. Well, I mean, for me, I love that tough love because hey, this is the
Mhm.
NFL. This is a grown man game. Like if you trying to get pampered, this ain't the league for you.
Mhm.
Maybe try your hand at XFL or USFL or something like that because this is a big dog league. You know,
For
I
sure.
can't really say what I want to say because obviously Jamal said it a little bit over the edge when it comes to you know being a puppy on the porch. But
Yeah, yeah.
this is let the big dogs eat. Like, hey, if you're trying to get pampered, this ain't the league for you. But I do think that Jamal kind of helped DeAndre in a sense with Juice Staley. But I mean, hey, I ain't gonna get mad about a person trying to be close to their mama that has
Right,
bad health. I mean,
right.
if
Yeah.
anybody knows me, they know I'm a family first.
Oh,
So
for sure.
first and foremost, hey, go take care of your family because
Of
hey, how
course.
many years did they take care of us? Like,
Yeah, I mean, and mamas. I mean, I
hey,
can I can tell you,
only
I'm
get
I'm a
one.
mama's boy. I'm a mama's boy,
Facts,
but
me too.
ain't nothing sweet over here, But that's all I ever had. So nothing wrong with that, man. I wish him the best moving forward. But like I said, being an objective observer, I just was like, I
Yeah,
think he
I
was just
mean,
kind of rubbing a few people the wrong way,
right.
and
I
I think
mean, hey,
that's
sometimes a new voice does help. You
oh
know.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, Scotty Montgomery. Hey,
Yep, Scotty Montgomery, the new assistant head coach and running back coach.
oh yeah.
So, hey, Deuce, I wish you well. Prayer
Mhm.
for your mama.
Oh, for sure.
Godspeed
Salute.
recovery. You know,
Yeah.
but hey, when we play the Panthers, it's that tail, Mister Postman.
Got
you know,
exactly.
hey,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
hey, it's about business at that point.
Yeah, yeah, for
But
sure.
no hard feelings. Hey, wish you nothing but the best. But hey, welcome to Detroit, Scotty Montgomery.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all got to do our homework on them. It doesn't seem I kind of poked around the internet and was trying to get a little more information on them. It seems like everybody's like kind of scratching their heads at this point. But hey, in Holmes and MCDC we trust. So
Hey, absolutely.
hey, I'm
They
gonna
haven't
call it
proved us
good.
wrong yet. So,
Nah, man.
hey,
Yeah, yeah, totally. So if we it's looking forward, also had some other good news that happened recently, right?
yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
look,
Dre
anytime,
Bleezy.
look
Dre
at that,
Bleezy is back in
look at that,
Detroit.
look at
Number
that.
32. Hey,
Yes, sir.
it feels like I'm back in grade school. Hearing Dre Bly and him being a menace. I mean, he only played here for 4 years, but man, them
It's a
4
great
years were
line.
just lights out.
Yeah, yep. A couple of Pro Bowls, if I'm not mistaken, while he was
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
I don't believe any
Two, I
All
think.
Pro. Yeah,
Yeah.
two. Yeah, yeah. So Dre Bly, man, I'm a native of Michigan, of course, but I live here in Virginia. So this is where he's from. It's a hotbed of talent. Michael Vick Country, Allen Iverson, Dre Bly. A lot of people forget about those types. So yeah, I'm excited, man. Excited. I can't lie. I was a little upset when we lost Aubrey Pleasant, but
Yeah.
as soon as we lost them, dude, everything took off. So
Yeah.
yeah. So what can I say?
Hey, I was upset about Aubrey
Yeah,
Pleasant
man.
too. But just like as the TJ Hawkinson trade, I got mad about that. And it was just like, But that's when everything started coming together, and it was just like, how can I be mad about it? At the end of the day, as long as my team is winning, that's all I care about.
That's all it comes down to, man. And
You know,
again, that's just another situation where you have to trust in Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, man. I mean, they're pulling all the right strings and it's coming up a lot of fruit. That vine is
absolutely,
starting to get very, very fruity, pause.
absolutely.
But yeah. So yeah, man, Dre Bly, glad to see him back in Detroit. Looking forward to that. Hopefully he can relate to some of the younger quarterbacks. We got some talent in the room. I expect us to dip into the draft to get some more help. But I want to get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. You can never, and that's the beauty about Detroit too. With our coaching staff, I look at the previous example was Tampa Bay,
Yeah,
and they had all of these prior players uh, that could relate to the players, and they knew what was going on. And if you look at our coaching staff, I mean, it's dominated by
former
previous players.
players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got some nice examples there. So from a quarterbacks coach, DBs coach, head coach, now guess what? New running backs coach, wide receivers coach Antoine Randall. Bro, I just think that's what I say. And Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, we trust. So looking
ab-
forward to it.
absolutely. And just like the name of the show, grit don't quit. When you got
Exactly.
former players, the other like active players, they look at that and be like, well, for one, let me see their tape, see if they know what
Mhm.
they're talking about.
Right.
But they also know, like, hey, I'm not gonna put you in a position just to put you in a position. I'm gonna put
Yeah.
you in a position to where you're gonna succeed. I've been in this spot.
Yeah. For
I've
sure.
been in your shoes. I've
Yeah.
went through the grind of OTAs and training camps and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Far more relatable.
absolutely.
And it's not to say that, people who have not played the game can't coach. Obviously, one of the
Oh yeah.
greatest coaches ever has never, strapped up, professionally. But, it's just, and I also think too, something that's overlooked a lot of times is just relatability. We're
Yeah.
not going to start going into the head coaching and African Americans, but when you have that many players, 70, 75% of it being black, then you put a position coach that's sort of out of touch and culturally and everything else, 50 plus years old, it's hard to reach those younger players in this generation. So I think it's just advantageous as well. I'm not trying to make this a racial point, but what I'm saying is about relatability. So
Right.
now that you have that component, then you have them being a former player. I mean, I think that's just a strong connection. It's a strong bridge to build. So it's about winning. So yeah, I like the moves, man. I'm really really liking it.
Absolutely. And and it starts, what have we always said? It starts with the guys, you know, on the sidelines. Like, hey, it starts with the coach and
Yeah.
coaching staff. And
Yeah.
then that kind of trickles on to the players. And then, you know,
Hmm.
and it all manifests from the front office. So if we don't have a front office that gets our players, that gets our coaching staff and stuff like that, then our
Hmm.
players are going to be lost already off rip.
Yep.
So,
I
like,
agree.
everybody's on the same page. And it's just, we have not been able to say that. I want to say at least since what, 1991, 93?
Yeah, and even then it wasn't
Right.
completely everybody on the same page. So because even back then in our glory years, winning a playoff game, you know, um, you got to look at Barry Sanders still
Yeah.
retired prematurely
Yeah.
because of the organization's inability to surround him with, a winning team. He couldn't
They
be a
thought
one.
that it
So
was it was wise to start over
yeah,
in
man.
Dallas. See, that's the one thing about Dallas, like, I cannot stand, is like, yeah, they had the blueprint, but they would have never had the blueprint without us tearing it down.
Yeah,
If we would
yeah,
have built on what we already had,
yeah,
we would have been into possibly Super Bowl talks.
yeah.
But because we tore it down, they took some of our players, and guess where they went?
Yeah, man, it was a lot, man. That was some painful years, man. But like I said, it's definitely not the same O lines.
Hey, I
You
love
know,
the new
love it.
slogan, brand new lines. I love
Yes,
that.
sir. Yes, sir. It's I'm a believer. You know, I'm always, like I said, I try to remain objective. I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker, but my
Hey, your
man.
boy this year's on the Kool-Aid hard. After the way we finished
Yes,
first
sir.
season, I was 100% on. Hey, don't let me get a couple draft picks that I want on my team.
Oh
Like at
man.
that point, I'm gonna be drunk off Kool-Aid. We
Whew.
might have to rename the show "Drunk Off Kool-Aid."
Hey man, I'm with it. I'm with it because trust me, bruh. Purple, red, orange, whatever it is, I'm on it, baby. I'm on it. So that's for the record.
Hey, absolutely. Hey,
Yeah.
as long as we doing what we're doing, and it might not be like the flashiest stuff that we're doing. Like
Mhm.
in free agency, like we don't really make super splash moves. We don't do like, oh, we just signed this player for X amount of money, 4 years,
Yeah.
and this, that, the other. Like, no, that ain't us. Like, we gonna give
Right.
a proven deal and build this roster.
Yeah. Yep. Brad Holmes. I mean, it's been tried, tested, and so far it's true. You know,
Absolutely.
1-2 years maybe. Come out. We're gonna kick the tires on you. See what we got. We're taking a bunch of previous players that were high draft picks. I
Yeah.
mean, taking them off whatever the scrap heap, whatever you want to call it, and they've been turning out pretty good so far, man. I mean, it's not. I mean, to look at something like DJ Chark, well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a mixed season, but for what we paid for him, and you know, we got the
Got the
option to
value.
renew. Yeah, I love to re-sign him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But he's not going to break the team either. But
All right.
we got some value out of DJ Chark. So um, defensive end from last year that kind of didn't show up this year, Charles Harris. He had a mixed year, a down year this year, but again, the
Well, a lot of
production
that
that we
was
got off.
injury though too.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just saying this. I love the philosophy and how he's really leaning into what he believes in Brad Holmes.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think any reasonable fan could look at that and say, yeah, he's not done a great job.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
yep.
know, but then that goes into another coach that I wanted to talk about, Aaron Glenn. Like
Hmm.
everybody's almost in place now, but we don't
Yeah,
have word on Aaron Glenn.
yeah,
I mean, I know he has he's had the second interview with the Indianapolis Colts, and I believe it was um the Arizona Cardinals, but then he later, I think yesterday night or the day before yesterday night, he got the call that says, okay, he's out the running for Arizona. And then
yeah.
he was a top candidate for
Excuse me.
the defensive coordinator, I believe, for the Vikings, which breaking news, they went and signed Brian Flores from
Wow,
the Pittsburgh Steelers, former
wow.
Dolphins head coach.
Yeah,
So we gotta face Brian Flores twice a year. So
yeah,
yeah,
man.
I am not happy about that.
No, no, dropped right off in the NFC North, man. Congratulations to him. He
Oh,
kind of got a
absolutely.
raw deal from the Miami Dolphins,
Yeah.
that train, and kudos to Pittsburgh for picking him up and making him a special advisor. But that all kind of landed him where he's at now. So happy for him, not happy for us.
Right,
So
but at the same token though, hey, I love the competition though,
oh
because guess what?
yeah, yeah,
Now when we
for
whip
sure.
that tail, guess what?
Yeah,
There's no excuses.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
got one of the best defensive minds in football, so
yeah,
there ain't no
yeah.
excuses.
Yeah, man. It's just
We
it's
still 2-2 against Minnesota. Hey, we still
oh
500.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I mean,
It's not
it's
like
just
the
anytime. I
Green Bay
mean, I guess,
Packers.
it's a health a healthy mixture of I want the competition, but man, I'm ready to take this division over. You know what I mean? So that becomes a little, because what Minnesota is on offense.
Yeah.
No smoke and mirrors. That's a lot of substance over there.
Oh yeah.
Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. He's not. He's just that B that average quarterback, but Justin Jefferson, is going to make the man look like considered for the Hall of Fame. I mean, as dominant as he is,
Absolutely.
so but what did we do? We handled them. The
Yeah.
first game, Jeffrey Okuda, whatever Aaron Glenn did to devise that scheme, bro, we shut that down, so
Yeah.
I'm not overly worried about it, but like I said, it does impact our team because he's
Yeah.
in our division, and Aaron Glenn, as far as him leaving, bro, I don't know. It's unfinished business, and I think that was what kept Ben Johnson here too to stay on
Yes.
as our offensive coordinator because I didn't want to lose him, and
Right.
thankfully we didn't. But I would have understood if he was considered a head coach. I mean, it's 32 teams. Those are once in a lifetime appointments. So,
Absolutely.
but for him to stay here in Detroit and want to continue and finish this job that he started, bro, I can't do nothing but salute and get hyped. I'm ready for it, man. And
Abs-
AG is
Put
only
me in.
going to his third year, bro. Give him
Yeah.
some more ingredients. Come on,
Yeah.
Brad. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Hey, put me in, coach. I'm ready.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, dude. So it's an exciting time to be a Lions fan. When
Ab-
has this ever been? It's been a long
Absolutely.
time, man.
Absolutely. I
So
mean, we had a little bit of hype when we had Jim Caldwell, but
yeah,
then we had the horrible taste in our mouth with the Boston turds, as I call them, with the Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn. I mean,
yeah.
I do got to give
Quentin
Bob Quinn
Fisher.
his flowers. Shout out to him. He
O
did
line.
build this offensive line.
There it
Absolutely.
is. There it is.
He put together this offensive line,
Mhm.
and then obviously Brad Holmes put the nice little piece on it with Panay Sewell,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
possibly get a guy in the draft this year.
Uh-oh. Are we
You know,
starting draft
and
talk already?
hey, I don't want to spoil too much, but you
Man,
know,
yeah. I woke up this morning doing mock drafts, man. It's never too early for mock
I've been
draft
doing it
season, bro.
all month long. I've been doing it all month. Like, okay,
Yeah, man.
let's see after this happened. Let's see what I could get from this.
Yeah, yeah, man. But yeah, it's speaking of that, man. So we kind of close that out, man. We got Dre Bly in the building. Look like Aaron Glenn isn't going anywhere. I'm happy
Hopefully,
about that. Give him.
the only team that scares me right now is the Colts. If they hire him, that's the only real team that's looking for something.
But even let's explore that. I mean, but what is it a greener grass thing? I mean, I don't know.
I
Unless you're
mean,
gonna,
defensively, I think they got more pieces there as far as like defense wise, but then
yeah,
offensively, I mean, they still need a quarterback, they still need an offensive line, things of that nature. So it's like it'd be a mixed bag a little bit with if he goes as a head coach over there.
yeah. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. I think he's gonna stay put, man. I mean, the
I hope
NFL
so.
is having some issues all the way around. So hopefully he does, but we'll see. We'll see what the future holds pretty soon because
Yeah,
those
I
doors
think
are closing.
I got a funny feeling it might be announced sometime this week. That he's either going to stay or get the job in Indianapolis, which
You talking
I'm
about the head
leaning
coaching job?
the head coaching job. Yeah,
No, that was already filled, Trucks.
was it?
Yeah.
So then it
That's,
would be a defensive coordinator with
yeah,
the Colts.
DC.
Then
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, because
okay,
the Colts picked up Frank Wright, wasn't it?
no,
Or
Frank
maybe
Reich
I'm
was
not. I
fired over
mean,
there.
Jeff Saturday. Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting it all
I know Jeff Saturday's
confused.
not. Yeah, he's not a candidate. They already told him that. They said nope,
Yeah,
you're not a
yeah.
candidate.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm all over the place, man, a little bit. And I got my son. Forgive my son is in the background, kind of making a bunch of noise. Hold on for a second, try.
But yeah, I mean, I'm leaning towards Aaron Glenn coming back just because,
Hopefully,
just like Ben Johnson said, we got some unfinished business. Like we were one game away from the playoffs, and
hmm
I think I really do think that Deuce Staley would have stayed if it wasn't for his mom being sick. I think that was the deciding
You,
factor for him
you
leaving.
think so? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, probably.
absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, hey, you only got one mama. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hey, if she not feeling well, I got to go.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, man. Yeah. So forgive me about that last comment about the coach and the head coaching job, but I don't think Aaron Glenn going anywhere. Just
I
gonna
hope
speak
not.
that. Yeah,
Because I think how the way he's turned things around in that, after that bye week, I just feel like he's grasped it. Like he
yeah.
finally understands his players and where they need to be at.
But see, and that's what I was, when I sit here and listen to a lot of people talk about it, right? You have to think about it, Trox. You had a first year. I mean, last year it was his first year as being
Yeah,
the defensive coordinator, right? So being the defensive coordinator, but then on top of it, not only do you have young players, the very next year you switch defensive philosophy.
yeah,
So
that's a
there's a
brand new
lot of
defense. Yeah,
it's a lot of moving parts to it. A lot of people gave him a bunch of crap, about it, but you got brand new pieces everywhere. So that's why
absolutely,
I'm saying where the previous, two drafts, this will be his third draft. This is hopefully as a defensive coordinator. You bring in more toys to put into your puzzle. And I think you're going to see this thing start turning around because the second half of the season, look at our defense.
absolutely. They were
So
actually pretty lights out, even though we were still ranked bottom of the league.
yeah,
We were still causing
but you
turnovers.
seen
Yeah.
exactly the Kirby Josephs, the Aiden Hutchinson. These are brand new pieces that
Hey,
were performing.
Hey,
Oh,
Kirby
bro.
Joseph might be taking Aaron Rodgers out the division.
Hey, look, it solely took him. He gave him his gone fishing gear. He gave him some gear, and it might be gone for good. So I don't care about the competition aspect. I'm tired of seeing him, man. So yeah,
Hey,
hopefully it go.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So, but
No
yeah,
more of
man,
those refs calling some stuff for him.
man, yeah, bro. That's look. It was a strong end to the season. I was very, very happy
Oh yeah.
what we did, man. But we'll see how it turns out, man. I'm looking forward to this draft and trying to get a few more pieces of the puzzle, man. And speaking of drafts, you want to try to go there a little bit,
We can
or
go
you want
there
to hit
before we
free
go
agency?
free.
Free
We could do that.
agency.
We could do the draft before free
No,
agency.
no, it's all right, man. I mean, I'm just hyped up, man. I just want to
Hey,
see. Yeah,
draft is. If you guys don't know us, the draft is
nerds,
mine and his like
nerds.
forte. Like that's our bread and butter. Like there is no better time than to talk draft in the off season.
Yeah, man. Love the NFL draft, man, since I was a kid, man. I watch it. I could
Facts.
sit there for hours watching the combine and then leading into the draft. I'm like, Mom, like, what are you watching so intensely? It's the NFL draft, Mom. This is back when
Absolutely.
it was 2 days. So
Oh
Saturday and
yeah.
Sunday, and then they moved it over to prime time. But yeah, man, NFL draft. But let's do the proper order and let's talk about some of this free agents.
Okay.
Potential free agent acquisitions, bro, is one huge name that keeps coming up, Mr.
And
Trox.
I can tell you exactly who that one name is. He's a defensive tackle because that's a
Mm.
big area of need.
Hmm.
And he goes by the name of Deron Payne, former Alabama Crimson Tide.
Whew, man.
Now, I get where everybody's licking their chops and hoping they get him. I mean, I
Yeah.
get it because, hey, the fan side of me, I want all the dogs. Forget the
Right.
rest of the NFL. I want all the dogs,
Yeah.
you know. But realistically, I don't think we're going to go after it for two reasons: money, and why would Washington get rid of him?
Hmm.
Like they to lose a player for nothing, and a very productive player, like you're not going to get anything for him. If you were going to let him walk, I would have traded him. So I would possibly franchise tag him if I am Washington. And I think that's probably something that they're actually considering. at least maybe to make a trade or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to let him walk for whatever say we want to pay him.
Yeah.
I think they're going to want something.
Yeah. Well, I kind of look at it like this, man. And everything you said was spot on, right? Um, but I think the issue with Deron Payne is two things kind of here. You have to kind of look at history, right?
Yeah.
Anytime you have that, the last time you had that defensive prowess coming from the defensive tackle position that got to market was when you had Ndamukong Suh and Gerald
Yeah.
McCoy.
Yep.
Problem with the Lions is they let Gerald McCoy set the market. Therefore, Ndamukong Suh was more disruptive. They both were great defensive tackles, but it was
Sue
just too
was a
rich for
lot
our.
younger.
He was, yeah. So the market got set. So when I look at Washington and you look at that defensive line, bro, that defensive
Oh
four
yeah.
is absolutely bananas. Chase Young, you got on the other side Montez Sweat.
Yep.
Then you have Jared Allen. Well, not Jared Allen, but the other Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen.
Jonathan Allen. And now we're looking at our guy, right? I
Yep.
don't think they're going to re-sign him, man. I think because they have so much money tied into their defensive line, and they are already salary cap strapped. I think this is a situation. Plus, when they had that altercation on the sideline, right?
Oh yeah.
Ron Payne and Jonathan
But
Allen.
that they were former teammates
Oh,
at
Alabama.
Alabama, so that's a brotherly.
It can be, man. But how do you let Ron Payne get to market?
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know. But back to the point. Is he right? The larger point, would he be right? The right fit for Detroit? And I think you and I do agree on this. Love the player, love the
Absolutely.
production, but I don't think he's right for our team. Not right now. To me, I
Yeah.
look at that as like the missing piece, of a
Yeah, that one
championship
piece to the
contending.
puzzle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. And we're not there. So if you're going to pay a defensive tackle 20-25 million a season, just we lessons learned, right? Flowers,
Yeah.
Trey Flowers, you don't put that type of money into a position,
Cheaper to
especially
draft.
defensive tackle, bro.
Cheaper to draft, baby.
It's just cheaper to draft them. We got a Lee McNeil. We don't know what's going on with Levi,
Yeah,
just yet. But those are still two very young players. And then you also got the kid we drafted who plays up and down the line out of Kentucky. What's his name? He was hurt at the beginning of the season.
Oh, Pascal.
Pascal. Well, Pascal is the edge, but he does kick down inside too. So
Yeah.
because of his pass rush ability, so I'm just looking at the defensive tackle position. Yes. I mean, dream scenario, who we both want.
Oh
Jalen
yeah.
Carter,
Absolutely.
at number 6 in the draft. I would love it. The lesser of the two, you got Ryan Brees too. That I think, in my opinion, most likely would be there. But just for our team, we're on the come up. I don't think we're there yet. And I don't think that's where you want to invest that kind of capital into it, that kind of money into that position.
Oh yeah.
It's a position of need, but we still got young players.
And kind of talking a little bit about Brian Brissy, I consider him a poor man's Deron Payne.
Yeah.
We're at 6. If Jalen Carter's gone, we can move back a few spots, picking up extra draft capital, and still pick up a Brian Breezy. And guess what? I saved myself a whole lot of money where I could put towards, our pending free agents that we did draft.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a position where we're spending more money via free agents than our own draft guys that we drafted and groomed. I want this to be a homegrown, well-oiled machine.
And it's shaping up that way too.
Hey,
yes,
it's
starting to look like
nasty.
that. Hey. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. So that would be a knee-jerk reaction, and I think that goes against Brad Holmes. We could
Yeah.
have last year we had money to spend. It was a lot of free agents that were left
Oh
over
yeah.
after the rush, but he said we're going to sit here and we're going to develop our players. So
Yeah.
I think again that kind of speaks against the philosophy of the Lions brass anyhow. So
Absolutely. And then he
yeah,
even doubled down this offseason and said, "Hey, look, yeah, I'm gonna go get some guys because it's
yeah,
that time to go get some guys, but I'm not gonna defer from what's been working here. What I've been doing has been working, and I'm not gonna
hmm,
deviate from that."
I agree. Yep.
So he
So
kind of doubled down as well. So I mean, I don't see him coming here. Would I love him? Absolutely.
of
You
course,
know, but
and he's young. It's
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
He
So
can
he's
he
young on
kind of
top
fits
of
that
it,
mold of we could groom him together as well with this group.
right? I
But
agree.
then again, like you said, 22 million, 25 million, like that's a lot of money.
Yeah, man.
I
And
mean, that right
to
there is Jared Goff's contract.
right.
Like you paying another quarterback type contract for a defensive tackle, not a defensive end. Like I understand defensive end,
Oh yeah, for
but
sure.
defensive tackle, like, you
Oh
know,
man.
go
We're gonna
draft a
come
guy.
right back to this, Trox. I got a great question for you, right? Let's explore this, and this is completely off script, right? But I got a question for you, and just give me your opinion and think
Okay.
it through. We all know that quarterback is the most important position on the football field, right? It's probably the most important position, I mean, critical position in all of sports, arguably.
You said
Is the quarterback.
quarterback or
Qu-
cornerback?
Quarterback,
Okay.
throwing the ball,
Okay.
right? So are we
Yeah.
agree
Oh
with
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
In your opinion, and thinking it through, what do you believe is the second most valuable position on the football field, and why?
Offensive line. All day
All right.
offensive line because if the quarterback is your most important possession,
Mm-hmm.
who's protecting that man? It's your offensive line. So hands down is that offensive line.
Mm, that's good. Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
Okay. I like this already. So what's okay?
Yeah, man, because I do agree that offensive line is very, very important. And actually, I would say, tackle. I would put that third,
Oh yeah.
depending on if you got a right, left-handed quarterback, right tackle, left tackle.
Right.
Typically, left tackle is the most important offensive lineman of the
Yeah.
group. But if quarterback, and I was thinking about this a couple of days ago, if quarterback is the most important position, then whose job is it to stop that quarterback? We know collectively it is, but if the quarterback is that important, I'd say and propose that defensive end, edge rusher, would be because the edge rusher is their
It
singular
annihilates. Yeah,
job
it annihilates the
is
left
to
tackle or the
stop
right tackle.
the quarterback.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Okay. I like where
You
this is
get what I'm
going.
saying? So that's why I say, and I've only asked this to one other person, a good buddy of mine. Hopefully we get him on a podcast one day. But I was just really cycling through it, and I'm just like, yeah, I get it. I guess traditional wisdom, would say left tackle, but I propose that's the opposite position of the quarterback. Not saying that, just edge, you have to have it because if you
Yeah.
stop that quarterback, you can win the defensive game,
Yeah.
6-3, you can win those type games. So that's
Absolutely.
why I propose that. So it's a new philosophy. It's not well oiled at all, but I have been thinking about it. And I asked a buddy of mine, and I'm just like, I can make the argument that edge
But
is
you know what? It's still going back to the general topic though as well. The trenches. Games are
the
won
trenches.
lost in the
Of
trenches. Like
course.
it's
Of
the
course.
most. If it's not the quarterback, it has to be the trenches.
Yeah, for sure.
You
For
know.
sure. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So I would say quarterback one, edge. My list two is edge, three, offensive tackle, and fill in or maybe middle linebacker would be four, the
Yeah.
quarterback of the defense. So yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. So outside of Deron Payne, you got any more free agents that may have had in mind that would fit the
Um.
Brad Holmes type guy?
Well, I personally feel that we're gonna be selecting a lot of our own players. I think minus maybe. Well, I can't really say minus Amani. I know everybody wants him gone. I
Hmm.
kind of want him gone too, but I mean, if he's gonna be coming back on a super low deal, I mean, you're gonna get the value out of it.
Yeah.
Just by you go on special teams. There's your value. If it's a veteran minimum, like that right there is value. If it's like some lucrative deal, I don't think so. But that's still not going to deter me away from, say, going in the draft and drafting a guy. But you still got him. So you got Amani, you got Will Harris. Uh, but I think Will Harris kind of found his niche on this team.
Mm.
As
That's a
far as
polarizing player right there, boy.
what was that?
I said that's a polarizing player right there.
Oh man, hey,
Yeah.
that gets Lion fans either super hype or super
Yeah.
mad
Yeah,
real
man.
quick.
Yep. But continue. I'm sorry to stop you.
So there's him. I think that he finally found his niche as a nickel and dime guy. Because I really do think that when healthy, when our defense is completely healthy,
Hmm.
everybody's almost flying to where they need to be at.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like, Will Harris could be back. I'm actually pulling up the list of guys that are free agents. Okay, so DJ Chark, I do think that he comes back. Jamal Williams, obviously. I mean, with him, I'm actually going to do something Brad Holmes probably won't do. I'll give him a 4-year, $16 million deal.
Mm. 4
It's about
years,
$4 million,
16.
which that's market value for him.
Yeah.
And it's not breaking no bank per year, but he's gotten a pay raise. Like it's 4 years, $16 million. You know,
How
uh,
old is he? How old is Jamal?
he is going to, well, in about a few months he'll be 28. So he's
28. Okay.
27.8 right now.
Yeah.
So that pretty much takes him to about 30, 31. And by that time, obviously I'm going to have an early out. I mean, 2 years, you know, yeah, I'm going to give you 4 years. You're going to get your 16 million, but after 2 years, there's nothing guaranteed.
All right.
You perform, you're here. You don't perform, you're gone. Like, but that's how you kind of, go out and get the most out of your roster. I mean, am I going to pay him a full $8 million a year? Probably not. I'm going to
No.
go right around maybe 6 with
Yeah.
two mil in incentives. Something to where it's like, okay, you're not going to break your own record now in Detroit, but can you say give, you know, 1,000 yards and maybe 10 touchdowns
Hmm.
or 9 touchdowns? If you could give me something like that and we're winning football games, I'm cool with $6 million. With an upwards, if hey, you make the Pro Bowl, you make this, you make that, you can get an extra 2 million.
But that's thinking about it in terms of him being a feature back, right? So how do you
Well,
kind of
I think,
negotiate that?
I mean, for that, I mean, it's more like complimentary. Um,
Okay.
the same kind of role he's in right now, where it's like,
Hmm.
yeah, Swift is our guy, but you got Jamal, you still got that two-headed monster.
Yeah.
So I mean, you still got that, and that's where I'm like, you got to make sure that his contract and Swift's contract don't contradict each other to where
Hmm.
I'm paying two running backs a whole lot of money and I ain't got nowhere else to put no extra money.
Yeah.
So that's why I say if it's like 2 years, maybe you could kind of stretch Swift a little bit or something of that nature to where okay, we can make this work a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think
Yeah.
it is another 2 more years and Swift's contract is up, or it might be next year. Um,
I think he has two, but
yeah,
because he was drafted in the second round, so was that a
actually, no,
full year?
next year.
Yes. Next year, for
Yeah,
that'll be
next
his
year.
fourth
So
year.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, oof.
Yeah.
And that's going to be about 6.4 million market value for Swift.
That's a lot of money for what they
For two players.
expendable. Yeah,
That's almost $13 million for two players. Like,
that's a lot of money, man, to be
yeah,
giving
I
running
mean, so
backs. You know,
I might not do 16. Um, I would do something though, something where it's reasonable on our end, where we could kind of keep him for 2 years, get Swift back at least, maybe if it's 1 or 2 more years. Because I mean, is Swift worth the second overall pick right now? Like, let's play devil's advocate. Has Swift lived up to the second overall or second round pick?
no, I mean, this no. The potential, you get the potential. The production is not there. You know,
And on top of that, you got the injury list.
the injury, yeah, and it's based largely off of injuries. I do think again that psyche. I
Yeah,
think his confidence was a little injured too. You know, the
yeah,
presence of Deuce and how demanding he was. You know, so I think he might. I don't know. I don't think he's lived up to what I was very excited, very happy to have him, and I still want him on our roster. Uh,
absolutely.
Injuries happen, they occur, you know, but when you start seeing injuries pile up at this age, I mean, you know, that's the shortest shelf life of all
Yeah,
positions in the
yeah,
NFL. That's why it's devalued so much. So I don't know how much you sink into it because you and I were speaking earlier off air, and I just said we got this weird room, right?
yeah.
It's a good running back room. It's strong. I like it. I mean, from Swift to Jamal to I think a fan favorite is Craig Reynolds. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
love Craig
absolutely.
Reynolds and Justin Jackson.
Yeah,
Is that a core of running backs that is capable of taking you to, say we conference championship, sure. We can get let me say division championship, sure. But is that really a difference maker? Is that running game? So we
yeah.
understand it starts with that O line. The O line is good, but I just think we have one problem. I know you love Big V, but that right guard has to be solidified,
Hey,
bro.
I
It
don't
just
love Big V. I mean, he's solid. He's solid, but again,
yeah,
going back onto what we have just been preaching about,
yeah,
injuries.
yeah,
He has a back injury.
yeah.
At this stage of his career, he's almost 30 years old
Hmm.
with a back injury playing in the
Hmm.
National Football League. He is
Yeah.
not going to be the same.
No.
I mean,
No.
can he get at least 75%? That's what I think we're going to try to evaluate.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to try to keep him at least for depth. But if he cannot at least get to 75%, he has to go. With
Yeah,
Big V.
man.
That's my whole thing with Big V.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just kind of evaluating all of that as a functional unit, the O
Yeah.
line to the running game and to the running backs. I think we got a B plus on. I mean, just consider. I think we have an
Yeah.
elite, a top five offensive line. I think the running back room is a B plus. So that it gives me a very strong running game, a very good running game.
Yeah.
But is it going to be? Is it really our identity? Is that the identity of the team? I know we really wanted to. I don't know if we have an offensive true identity because our receiving room is phenomenal, right? So,
Absolutely.
when you get the potential of JMO, but we still got, Amon-Ra St. Brown, this is a pro bowler,
Yeah.
he's voted into the Pro Bowl. This dude has been the good since he's gotten there, Jared Goff. And you look at the passing game and what our offense was able to do, the first half of the season, it was still pretty good down the stretch, but we were completely obliterating people on the offensive side. And that was not
Absolutely.
necessarily predicated on the running game. It was just a great offense altogether. We could beat you in a couple
Absolutely.
of pick your poison.
Absolutely.
The running game did slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
and it kind of showed up, but we still won.
Yeah.
So I don't know what our offensive identity. I know what I would like it to be is powerful. I think our offensive
Is
identity is
yeah,
the offensive line.
yeah,
You
it
know,
is a power football,
power
like power
football.
run game. And
Yeah,
that's the thing though. Like, if you really look at our guys, like we don't outside of Jamal Williams, who's really a power back though.
nobody. I mean, Craig Reynolds run between the tackles. You know,
Somewhat like the closest thing where
close.
he's like north south, but
Yeah,
has the capability going east west as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, it's
he
kind of
doesn't
like
attack the boundary like DeAndre Swift can. You
right.
know, he's obviously he's not on that level, but I mean, I like Craig Reynolds, man,
I
but
absolutely I do too.
I just think it's a weird thing. We're just in a tight spot because you got Jamal Williams, who's all just it's intangibles with that
Yeah,
guy, right? Just the heart and soul of the team, especially that offense. That is our heartbeat, and I love what he brings to the table. But are you willing to pay him for
yeah,
what he's? Sometimes you need those guys, man. You need those guys, but and DeAndre Swift can't stay healthy. I mean,
yeah.
it's rubber meets the road. What production? I get the potential, but I'm taking production. At the end of the day, I want production. All right, what have
Absolutely,
you done for me lately? If you're just
absolutely.
going to be sitting in a corner, broken, sorry for your luck, and I hate to say that, man, but I
Now
almost want to move on.
I got a question for you. Would you do say the 4 year 16 million with 8 million guarantee? So he gets his guarantee for 8 million, which would be the first 2 years, but we got it early out in that after that second year.
I mean, it's I don't know. I don't know how loyal I want to be to him. I mean, it's just no loyalty in football, man. To
Oh
me,
yeah, it's what have you done
honestly,
for me lately? Absolutely, I 100% agree on that. Like that's the business
considering,
aspect of the
yeah,
NFL.
I think, and it is there is some value in that, but with Jamal, it's really a mixed bag because you got to consider. I mean, he broke Barry Sanders' touchdown record.
Yeah,
I mean, that's something. You know what I
yeah,
mean? This is the greatest back
absolutely.
you say in NFL history. A lot of people, was he known for just rushing touchdowns? No, but he was just a dominant back. So
Right,
that's to say something. You know what kind of energy he brings? He brings that dog mentality. But is Jamal Wood? He's not a bell cow. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah,
He's
I'm not going to give him 20, 30 carries a game.
yeah.
And
So me trying to strap on my little tiny GM hat, I think the right thing is to sign him to another 2-year deal. I mean, just make it fully guaranteed. I would, I would be fine with 2 years, 8 mil, guaranteed. Maybe kick it up to 2 years, 10 mil. That's a lot of money for a running back.
yeah,
But I wouldn't go beyond that because you already know what the shelf life is. And again,
right.
this is just a business based thing. It's not emotional. So I think that's the smart way to extend them versus the 4 years, 16 mil. Yeah, which
Yeah,
I
I
get
could.
what you were saying.
Oh,
Yeah, you,
absolutely, and
yeah,
I could see something like that actually more feasible.
yeah,
Quarter year, going back to the Brad Holmes way,
yeah,
short contract. Yeah, you might be fully guaranteed, but guess what?
yeah.
When your time is up, your time is up.
It's
You
just
know,
up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Thank
mean,
you for your
we
service.
love you. Hopefully, you retire a lion,
Yeah.
but when your time is up, your time is up.
It's just how it is, man. And that's what I wish the NFL would move more towards is the guaranteed contracts. I
Yeah,
just, I get the danger of it. I
yeah,
do, but just shorten the terms a little bit. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
And
Don't give out, yeah,
I think that's where a lot of your players actually will sign at is look at the
for,
guarantees.
for
Like
sure.
if you're gonna get more guarantees, I mean they don't care about like if like say if they want $40 million,
Right. Sorry.
but some team is gonna go, you know, well I mean hey if somebody wants to do the Kirk Cousins deal and go what was that 4 years 85 million fully
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Yeah. It was beautiful, man. It was
I mean
perfect.
yeah, thank you
Yeah.
as a Lions fan, thank you.
Yeah, man.
'Cause
Right.
hey,
Right.
you held your team back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So,
mean,
but it was a great, but it was a short
well,
guaranteed
yeah,
contract. I think
yeah,
the original one was 3 years, and somebody had to look it up, but like 76, 80 million, something like that.
yes,
But the beauty of it was fully guaranteed,
and
and that as an organization. See, that's where Dallas, I mean, again, this is Detroit line, but they messed up with Dak
Yeah.
because it's going to be hard for him to take that Kirk Cousins deal, whatever it was, 390 for 96. If you
Something.
add on another year to that and, maybe 5-10 million more and say this is fully guaranteed,
Yeah.
then you don't jack yourself up. You
Yep.
gotta easy out. I'd rather give you 3 years now. What is the going rate? 40 mil per season. So 3 years, 120 million guaranteed. That's
Yep.
hard to turn your nose up at. I get the long term, but a lot of that stuff, that's when you have to become a salary cap genius,
Fine.
defer some of this stuff. You got to
Absolutely.
go through all of this stuff, man. I know
And
I'm gonna
that's
make
where
150 million. I'm straight. Give it to me.
right. But that's a lot of the times where Detroit got themselves in a lot of trouble. Like you look at our second overall defense back in 2014.
Yeah.
Why did we get rid of that? Well, because we paid 3 players.
Yep.
We paid Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson, and Ndamukong Suh.
That was it.
And
It
that
was
was
done.
all of our cap.
That's all of it. And that's why I love what we're doing now.
Exactly.
Yeah, prove it. It's sort of prove it deals. Some players may be offended by it. I mean, again, and the other danger and the other side of it is Detroit is not necessarily a destination place, even though we're getting more buzz now.
Right. Right.
But because of whatever climate, whatever
Or
culture,
small
whatever you want to,
market, this, that,
small
the other.
market,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a destination place, but winning changes everything. It gives you a new attitude. And when you have somebody, again, DJ Chark, shocked the hell out of me, man, that he's decided to come to Detroit. But now everybody's seeing what's going on in Detroit. So I think you have to be careful when you say, okay, well, I'm going to give you a 1-2 year deal. But do you want somebody that's going to come in like, again, we're just talking about the Ron Payne with the expectation, well, I'm the savior, blah, blah. I don't think that matches Dan Campbell's. I don't think they want those type of players in here. Like you said, all homegrown, go into the draft and supplement it with free agents with high value but short-term free agents. DJ
Absolutely.
Chark. Yeah, it was great.
DJ Chark is one of your key pieces on getting your money's worth. Like, I mean, take the injury part in the beginning of the season out of it. Like when he was fully healthy and he had time to understand what we're doing. Like you got high value out of that contract.
For sure.
The only thing is we had just a shorter version of that.
Yeah.
For the price tag, which was basically he had, what was that, 2 or 3 years all into 1 year.
Yeah.
And that's why his contract is technically voided.
Yeah. It's technically just a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
A prove it deal. You're coming off an injury, but again, that's why I love how Brad Holmes is doing this stuff, man.
Absolutely.
So like I said, you attract the right people, the hungry people. The prove it deals are pretty cool. Like, again, if you got the person that said, well, I've done Le'Veon Bell, for instance, you have this entitled, attitude towards it. And, that's one of the dumbest, I'm sorry to say it that way, but it's just one of the dumbest decisions ever, dude. You were
especially
getting ready to go to the Hall of Fame and you are like fighting with the Steelers, bro, and you have not been anything ever since. So you got to think about a new city, new coach, new philosophy. Nothing's guaranteed, dude. So give me more Charles Harris's. Let's find somebody in free agency that's willing to, sacrifice a little ego.
Kaminsky. John Kaminsky.
Of course. Yeah.
We got a lot of good value from him.
Yeah.
Another player, Isaiah Buggs. Like,
beautiful.
That's why I say, like, if we do stuff like that, re-sign those types of guys, I think that's our free agency. Then, we might go outside and if there's a wide receiver or a running back or whatever, where it doesn't break the bank, and we could possibly say upgrade over Justin Jackson or somebody like that. Like, it doesn't break the bank, or Quintez Cephas. Like, if we can upgrade over that, like, at that point, it's like, okay, I can see us going elsewhere, but majority is going to be, our own free agents. Hey, come back another year. Let's run it back.
Yeah.
And we're going to get some more draft picks. We're going to run it back and let's do this thing. Like
I agree.
that's kind of where I'm kind of leaning towards with this free agency.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And again, you remember we're building culture.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
those were, hey, those players. If you don't come in, you don't have the right mind state. You don't adapt to what culture is being set. Then you're out the door. So I think that's an understanding too, right? Hate to say the Patriot way, but there was something that when you went to New England, that the
Yeah,
expectation was already set. The
yeah,
culture was already set. So it was more of you come in and conform to us. We're not going to build
yeah.
everything around you. But
W-
that's where we have a
Ocho
smart
Cinco said it the
GM too.
best. Yeah, Ocho Cinco said it the best. It's like, hey, fall in line. Like I
Fall
don't
in
care
line.
what your name says. Like
Yeah,
fall in line. Like we
fall in
gotta.
line.
This is the way we do things. Like
Yep. This is how we do it. So like I say, it's just that mind state. This is something that I'm talking about is never been Detroit, bro.
yeah, yeah,
That that the culture that dude. I've been rocking with the Lions since '89, bro, and I'm telling you, this is the first time I could really see a culture set in. Even Wayne Fonson and run and
yeah,
shoot, all of that stuff. We knew what we were. We were just an offensive
yeah.
machine. We had number one offense and or top, three offense and the very last defense. 30 seconds, sort of reminiscent of this year, but
Right, right,
but you see it's
right,
turning.
right.
So. Yeah,
And back
man.
then,
So
like they had put more high value on run game, and we had one of the best run backs. So,
yeah,
like that's
yeah,
where we
yeah.
won the Central. That's where we got to the
Right.
the
Correct.
the conference championship.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, different era, different style of football altogether. So, look back on that. We know that we need a quarterback. Speaking of quarterbacks, what you think about our boy Jared Goff, man? That dude had
Man,
the room
hey,
split when he came, but how you like me now?
hey, how you like me now? Hey,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
hey, to all the Jared Goff haters, you know I got to give you one of these.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on. Yeah.
Hey,
Hey.
he. We all knew Jared Goff had this in him
Yeah.
because if you didn't know that he had this in him, where were you watching all those years in LA?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Sean McVay's system. Now they're trying to say, oh, it's what's his name? Ben Johnson's system.
They don't want to give him any credit.
They
Yeah.
don't want to give him no credit.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna give
Yeah.
credit where credit's due. This is Brad Holmes' guy. Brad
Yeah.
Holmes went to Les Snead, the general manager of the Los Angeles Rams, said, if there's one guy to trade up for, it's Jared Goff. They
Wow.
traded up to the first overall pick
I remember.
and listened to Brad Holmes. Who's our general manager?
Brad Holmes. Yeah.
This is Brad
Outstanding.
Holmes' guy. Like,
Yeah.
you know he's gonna put him in a good spot.
Yeah.
This is our
Yeah.
quarterback. Like, this is our franchise guy.
Yeah. Looking at, I mean, I get the apprehension. You know what I mean? I
Right.
understood it when
Right.
he came. We lose Matthew Stafford, which I know a lot of people were upset, but I think Stafford gave us everything that he could give us, and we weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Again, it's just like, why do you hold on to that? Let the man go out there. He
Yeah.
won a Super Bowl. We're getting back 3 first-round picks now,
Yeah.
essentially, because Jared Goff was number one overall pick. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So
Absolutely.
he's never been void of talent. I do get the why you just don't want to give him credit because it was Sean McVay, like you mentioned,
Right.
and
Right.
you had Todd Gurley at the same
Right.
time, so
Right.
that affected what he was able to do. And when Todd Gurley went down, it did kind of mess with
Oh, absolutely.
Goff, and his performance. So it worked out for both sides. But I'm
Yeah.
very happy that he's now here in Detroit. I think it was culture shock that first year. You go
Well, on
from
top of that,
palm
like,
trees,
yeah, on top of that, who did he have to throw to?
nobody. Yeah,
I
it's
mean, the two top
just
free agents weren't even on the team midway through
yeah,
the
man.
year.
Yeah, man. So it's just like he had the talent. We had our draft coverage, and I think we talked about it collectively. I'm just like, give the dude a chance, man.
Yeah.
Give him a chance. He's obviously talented, but I don't know if he necessarily had the dog in him. But
Right.
now that I'm looking back on it, Oh yeah, bro. That was a lot to take in, man.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
trade came out of nowhere. The first year, everything's brand new and shiny. Give it some times, pipe down, relax, people. Give it a chance. So
Hey, once you put the seed in, it ain't gonna automatically grow into a flower. You gotta put
yeah,
that dirt down, gotta
yeah,
pack it a little bit, and
yeah,
then put the water and just gradually watch it grow. And that's
yeah,
exactly what we're
man.
seeing right now. We're
Yeah,
seeing it magically and slowly grow.
yeah, it's maturing, man.
Yeah,
So I think, even looking into that, we got to get the quarterback room, we got to get that straightened out now.
yeah,
We got
yeah.
to get a backup, man. So what are you feeling about backup quarterback since Jared Goff is our guy? All
I do
right.
not like any of the free agents.
Okay.
So 100% I am going draft.
Wow.
Um and I'm gonna give you guys a little sneak peek. Max Duggan out of
Mm,
TCU
mm.
and say fifth or sixth round. Who says no?
Oh, excuse me.
He's gonna be there because obviously with all the other talent that's in the
Yeah.
draft, he's gonna be there at either the fifth or the sixth round pick.
Yeah.
So I
I
mean,
agree.
who really says no about Max Duggan? I mean, if you really want, bring Nate Sudfeld. I have a thing called hashtag FNS. Forget Nate Sudfeld.
Oh wow.
You
Okay.
know,
I'm gonna start
been
using it right away.
been saying it since the day he got here. Forget Nate
Right.
Sudfeld.
Right. Right.
But I mean, if you want to bring him in as a third stringer, okay, cool, whatever. But
Hmm.
you at least have your backup in place.
Yeah.
So you got Jared Goff, Max Duggan, like that's your quarterback room.
I I guess so. I'm curious to see the combine, man.
Yeah,
And see
that's
how
gonna tell a
he,
lot.
yeah, how he sort of tests out, because I don't think anybody see him as a true dual threat quarterback, but he's a functional
Oh yeah,
runner when necessary. And he plays well out of the pocket. But he has the heart of a lion.
yeah,
I like Max Duggan. I mean, he did something to my people back there. I said,
yeah.
yeah, I don't even
Go
want to get
blue,
into that.
baby.
That's emotional. Yeah, that's emotional. So let me retract that. But
Hey, at least he has to worry about Aiden Hutchinson though. So he might
yeah,
have a little bit of retribution on Aiden's hands for it.
yeah. But I like the pick, man. I mean,
Oh,
if we
absolutely.
could get him middle rounds, is fine. But even in a free agent market, who I'm probably a little embarrassed to say it, Trox, but I'm curious, and I think he's a free agent this year. Mike White. What you think about that? I
As a
mean,
veteran guy,
yeah, Mike White. I mean, from the Jets.
you know what? Let me pull it up real quick because I do have the site um up. Where's the Jets though? Oh, right here. I think he might be
I think he's going to
Joe
be a free
Flacco,
agent.
Mike White. He is 100% a free agent.
Yeah.
I mean, at a $3 million deal, 1 or 2 years,
Right.
bring him on.
Yeah.
I
Because we're
mean,
just
he
talking
showed that
about.
he's not the be all end all like some of the fans would say. Like, bro, I mean, in fantasy, bro, they were saying that Mike White's the second coming of Jesus.
Oh man, get out of
I
here
was
with
like,
that.
stop it. I said,
And-
stop it.
yeah, come on, man. Yeah, I didn't. I never had that, but I'm just talking true backup quarterback
Yeah,
in a pinch. Looking for that. John Kitna type. Can come in, function. Even a Colt
1 or 2
McCoy.
games, kind of. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could dig
yeah,
that. I could dig
yeah,
that.
yeah. Just talking about something that's low risk but
High
functional.
reward. Yeah,
A pro
absolutely.
pro quarterback, veteran. Yeah, I like that better than Nate Sudfeld. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but Max Duggan, yeah, I'm with you on that. I love to have him in there.
I
So,
mean, there was another guy. Shout out to the Dern, but he
okay,
brought up a guy named Tanner McKee out of Stanford.
okay,
If
you
he's
know nothing.
there around mid round, I'm
Right,
considering that
okay,
because I kind of like his skill set. He's I would say he's a little bit more skinnier version of Max Duggan,
Okay.
but I mean, I like his talent.
Yeah.
Mid round, I think he's a perfect prospect.
Yeah.
If you don't feel 100% confident with Max Duggan, I think that could be an option there. Uh, but with that, I think you would have to maybe bite a little bit more, say thirdish in the
Hmm.
third round, more
Really?
so than fourth or fifth. Where
Hmm.
I would say at least start considering like best player available at that point.
Yeah, I say
Because I
expensive
mean,
pick, man. So I wouldn't do it that. Yeah, I wouldn't
he
go
has
that
the
far
talent.
with it.
That's why I'm saying like Tanner
Yeah.
McGee, and a lot of it, like you said, it's gonna fall back on the combine. How
Yeah.
are these players gonna grade out? How are they gonna
Yeah.
test out?
Yeah.
If they have a bad day, yeah, they can still save face and their pro day and stuff like that.
Right.
But those two things are going to be the be all end all. Going into the draft. Obviously, you still got to do your due diligence and watch the film as well. Hey, can the kid play in certain situations?
Yeah.
That's why I hold a lot of value in Pro Bowl game. Or I'm sorry, bowl games. Did you
Yeah.
play in your bowl game, and how did you do? If you did well, hey, okay, you go on my little short list and you get put on into an order that way. Where if you say, "Oh, I'm too good for the Pro Bowl," or I'm too good for the bowl game. I don't want to injure myself. I don't want to do this, and kind of be like a prima donna. Well, I'm just completely going to take you off. I don't care if you got the best talent in the draft.
Really?
Like,
Really?
yeah, I mean, but
That's a non-starter for you, huh?
that's just, I mean, it just rubs me the wrong way, though. It's like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to go into battle one last time with your boys?
Because millions are at stake.
But
I'm
still,
like,
like,
I'm
you can
50-50.
still,
I get your point.
you can still make your money though, and that's where I have beef with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I have beef with them because why are you going to ask for 30, 40, 50 million dollars a year when you could do the Tom Brady situation? Take 20 million, win
Yeah.
yourself some Super Bowls, and get the endorsements on the back end, aka the Michael Jordan effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike never made a whole lot of money, but guess what? He made it on his Jordan brand.
Yeah.
And now look at it. I mean, hey, you got it on your jersey, the
Yeah.
Jordan
Yeah.
brand. So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. For
it's
sure.
everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's where he made that's where he made his 30, 40, 50 million dollars a year.
Yeah, for sure. But it's
So
one Michael Jordan though. So you're
oh
taking
yeah.
sort
Oh,
of
that's all. That's
the extreme. Yeah.
110%
Yeah.
facts. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
everybody can be Mike. I'm not
Yeah. Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
can be
Yeah.
Tom Brady, but
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
you know,
Right.
but take just enough and put the rest of the money into the team because there's 53 men.
Yeah. For
46 of
sure.
them got to suit up.
For sure.
You need every single Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't have that, you're not going to go far.
Yeah. Well, you got to be willing to do it. So it's two things at play
Right.
there, right? So
Right.
you're looking at the professional, but back to the collegiate athlete, where we talk about the bowl games and the significant. I understand where
And
you
plus,
want somebody that's
yeah.
going to compete.
Oh, yeah.
But remember the Jake Butts, you know what I mean, of the world, where they come to play in the bowl game and
Yeah.
basically
I mean, but
career was ended before
freak
it even.
injuries can
It
happen at
does.
any given day.
It does. So again, you can't be a bubble boy. You can't. It's just
Right.
you can't. It's risk involved in everything. I think I'm 50-50 with it. You know what I mean? I get it. You're protecting what it is that you feel is valuable, which is your
Yeah.
career, for a university to what? I mean, because the only reason I counter that, Trox, and this is a good discussion, is that if I played for 3 years and I
Well,
played
okay.
in
Yeah.
two
That's,
other
that's,
bowls,
yeah.
it's
Yeah. Then
enough.
that's a little bit, yeah, that's a little bit different
Yeah, it's
because
enough.
you've already went to war.
You've done it. Yeah,
Yeah, if you've done it 2 out of the 3 years,
right.
okay, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
cool with you. If
right,
if there's nothing you can do, whether it's a
right.
bowl game or a combine or this, that, the other, if you need to sit out, I'm cool with that.
Now
You
you
can't
know
go no
what's
higher than where you're gonna go. Like I'm cool with
correct.
that at that point. I'm saying, but
Correct.
like if you're like a well, could he go top 5? Could he go top 10? You know, those kind of guys, it's like,
Yeah.
why not go show, hey, I'm number one. Like put some
See,
respect on my name.
yeah.
You know, put some
Yeah.
respect on it, you know, kind of thing. So it's
Yeah.
like, go out there, go compete. I mean, even hey, coach, put me in for a quarter. I'm gonna show these cats, hey, I'm the number one guy in the draft,
Yeah.
and we gonna win this thing all in the first quarter. Watch.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
man.
know,
I get it. It's a couple of ways to chop it up, right? It
absolutely.
is.
You
It's a
know,
couple of ways to chop it up.
but
So
you know, I do agree where if the guy is like, if there's nothing he can do in college that's gonna
yeah.
bring his draft stock up or down or anything, like at that
Yeah.
point, go ahead. You know, you got your NIL, you got this, you got
And
that.
see,
Like, go
that's the
ahead.
other big piece right there.
Yeah.
So today's college football versus years
Right.
past,
Yeah.
well, now you got NIL deals. I mean, again, not just talking about, our favorite school, but, Blake Corum coming back.
Right.
Well,
Right.
a big decision is smart because you're going to get some NIL money.
Yeah.
You're off of an injury and you weren't projected to be, in the top 3 rounds anyway at running back.
Right.
So why not do it? So that kind of changes it too, the approach from a
Right.
collegiate standpoint, but as far as these professional quarterbacks that Aaron Rodgers of the world that raped the
Right.
team and,
Oh yeah.
you break everything. Now you understand, dude, you shouldn't have taken all that money, but your arrogance, ego, everything was on display. And now you want to break the bank, but you broke your team. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So again, all the Jared Goff haters, guess what? Look at the contract we were absorbing, we were crying about. I was actually considered very friendly, because the market got
Absolutely.
reset.
Hold on one quick second.
Yep. Yeah. So, but yeah, so try to hold it now for Trox while he's doing that. But yeah, it's just a lot of lessons, man. When you start talking about money, man, people, become so greedy. And I mean, people have different motivations. I've always been pro player myself. I side on it 90%, maybe 85, 90% of the time. I am pro player, but there are those few that kind of ruin it for everybody else. And as much as I'm a fan of the talent, let's get this right, Lions Nation. I'm only a fan of the talent of Aaron Rodgers because just being objective, this is one of the greatest throwers of the ball I've ever seen. My personal list in terms of just talent would be Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers, and John Elway are right there, and then you could sprinkle in whoever else. But what really burned me, and I was just like, dude, that's what he did to his own team, man. I mean, Devontae Adams, bro, you broke something that was
Super
an
special.
all-time great duo
Yeah.
because you were mad and you had your little hissy fit, and now they drafted your replacement. I get that, but you always got to look forward, man. You just went out there and you won a couple of MVPs. I mean, come on, bro. What's going on? So I don't know. I'm pro player most of the time, but there is even a line that I won't cross, and that was just one of them. So, like I said, our young guy probably put him out of the division, man. He might go into retirement. So,
Hey, we are 3-1 against Mr. Aaron
hey,
Rodgers.
hey,
Hey, that's the Dan
new.
Campbell era, 3-1.
Yeah, man, that was the house of horrors for us forever, man.
Oh
So,
man.
yeah, that Lambeau. Good Lord.
Yeah.
I remember when Barry Sanders had -3 rushing yards on him in like 1996, 97, whatever that year was. I
Yep.
think he had ran for 2,000 that year. But anyway, that's what happened when we went to Lambeau. And it's that mystique
Yep.
was
It's
alive
always
and
been that
well.
mystique.
It was a hard place to play, man. But
I mean,
even
real talk, it still is. I mean, it
it's
wasn't
tough.
easy week 18. I
No,
mean, it came
no.
down to the wire, but at the end of the day, though, like we showed that, hey, this is the
Yeah.
new look Lions. Like, we're not that same Lion team that, oh, at least one of them is 50%,
Yeah.
playing 500. You know,
Yeah, man.
hey, we still got that. We still got that text message, Mister Rogers.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. But he's up out of there, man. And I'm in love with our new quarterback and everything that we're doing, man. I don't have any, I'm one of those people that like to poke holes in something and see where the fault is,
Yeah.
I really can't say, and again, that's not to say that we're going to win the Super Bowl, folks. I'm not saying that, but as far as the approach to philosophy, all the acquisitions, whether it be free agency or draft, I've been a fan of, man. There's very few draft picks I didn't like, like the Jamar Jefferson. We're not going to go down memory lane, but that's like the only, I mean, it can't be
Jelani
perfect,
Devine.
right? Yeah. Oh, man, that's a linebacker from
Jared
Ohio.
Davis.
Jared, I don't know, man. Yeah, so, but we got a new regime, man, and they're
Right,
doing
right.
everything right, so.
Actually, real talk, I don't think they've had a missed pick so far yet.
Except for Jamar Jefferson.
What do you mean? Oh, no, that ain't this. That wasn't this regime, was it? I thought that was the last
That was
year.
last year. That was last year. Oh, that was Jamar Jefferson. That was the weirdest one. Yeah.
Wow.
Good look back at it. It's the only one that
Yeah,
we didn't make
that
sense
would
because
be. Yeah.
that's the only, to me, was like a miss, and I questioned it when it happened. I'm like,
Now you got
folks,
me
so
really thinking.
yeah,
Hold on.
Google it up. You're talking to the walking encyclopedia for the most part. Sometimes I get it wrong though. I start thinking that I'm thinking the head coach of the Colts. I couldn't figure that out, but
Okay, Jamar Jefferson is on the Bengals.
yeah.
Wait, no. Wait, is he? Oh
Jamar
no, that's his
Jefferson.
Oregon State jersey. I said, wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Okay, 7th round, pick 30.
yeah,
What? Yeah, 2021.
yeah. That was the only
Wow.
pick that I couldn't understand it. I understood what they were trying to do, but it was just
Yeah.
it never made sense to me. We go back and look at some of our broadcasts. I said it at the moment. I just didn't get it.
Yeah, that was the Penei Sewell draft. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Man. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
again.
okay. Yeah. So I guess I definitely stand corrected that we
It's
had
okay.
one. We had one
That's really
so
the
far.
only one, though, right? Of
Yeah,
the last
yeah.
two drafts. I
But
mean, you.
how many draft picks did we have? And for that to be the
Oh
only
yeah,
one, like
bro.
that's
That's
talk
really like
about
splitting
draft savant
hairs.
right there. Like,
Yeah. That's. I mean, you're not gonna hit on everything.
right, right.
So, I mean, I get it.
I
I
mean,
just always.
99.99%. Hey, I'll take that.
Yeah, man. Hey, superpowers. That's what I'm interested in, especially even in the late rounds.
Yeah.
I did a mock draft today. Let me get your opinion on this one, man. I think this splits the room as well. But with our kicking woes, I think that's probably the only really like our place kicker.
Yeah.
Would you be
Yep.
opposed to taking Jake Moody like in the 7th round, sixth, 7th round?
Absolutely not. I would. Hey, and real talk. I mean, even if it's Ruggles, like
Six.
I want give me a kicker this year. Let
Yeah.
me draft it. I mean, well, it depends though. Like if Jake Moody or Ruggles or whoever is the top kicker still available in
Sixth
undrafted.
round with our last pick.
I mean, if we hit everything, all of our other needs, absolutely. I don't see why not. If we got say our backup quarterback, if we got our offensive guard, if we got our safety, if we got a corner, if we got a defensive tackle, I mean, really need at that point. We got
Yeah.
3 extra picks. Like, I mean, what else do we really need? So at that point, yeah, I would use our last pick with the kicker.
With a kicker, one of the 2 kickers on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people take that fantasy football approach, but folks, this ain't fantasy football. You need a strong place kicker.
Yeah.
Everybody laughed
hey,
at the Bengals when they drafted their kicker
I was
as
just
high
about to
as they
bring up
did.
McPherson and then Cade York
Exactly.
with Browns.
it pays. It didn't always, because what was Tampa Bay took years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago. They took that kid, a kicker, pretty high. I want to say they took him even
I mean,
higher.
we don't. There's no Jason Hanson s guys where I'm taking in the second round. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Or Sebastian Janikowski. I think he was the highest
I
kicker
think
ever
so.
drafted,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
I
that's
think
when the
so.
Raiders took him.
Yeah,
They took him and was that Shane Leckler that they took? Yeah.
I think
I think they
so.
took two special teamers, but I don't know. People just, I think they kind of intertwine fantasy and
Yeah.
reality, bro. If it's a quality kicker out there,
See,
I don't know.
and that's where if you believe in the best player available, regardless of position, then kicker is still on your board.
Yeah, man. I'm taking him in the sixth round. I'm a believer in Jake Moody. Maybe
Yeah,
it's Homer, but I mean, it's Lou Groza
I
Award
I will
winner.
say this: I do like Ruggles' height, but
Okay.
I mean that Ohio State, like, come on, we got too many of them guys already.
I
I
don't
need
want no
some
more
more
of that crap.
blue. I need more of my blue on my team.
Yeah,
It's
man.
Honolulu blue. Like, come on, we
Yeah,
need more blue.
yeah, man. Speaking of blue, man, you been seeing any of the new uniform concept uniforms out there?
I have. In fact,
Have
I've
you?
even seen one that you posted on Twitter.
Oh, was that
Hey,
not hot, man?
bro, if we could get that white boy with the all white and the white helmet,
It was.
even the lion was white with the blue
Oh
outline.
God, was that not sick, man?
Man, it was.
It
But
was
see,
sick.
that's what I want us to start doing. Like, if we have an all white uniform, get an all white helmet.
It
If you
makes a
got it all
difference,
blue,
bro.
have a blue helmet.
Yeah,
But I
it
also,
makes a difference.
oh, absolutely. But I
Mhm.
also want to bring back the black uniforms.
Yeah. So
The
yeah,
all
yeah,
black with the
yeah.
blue, man.
Only
Them boys
time
were
I
so
look at
sick.
that, you know what? It just throws me off. I think it's not that I didn't like the black uniforms. It was just more like it's just so Carolina Pantherish. You know what I mean? It just, even though I know
But
who
we
our
are the
squad
black
is.
and blue division.
Yeah, well, that's true too. I mean,
And we're the
that's
kings of the jungle. So,
yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Carolina, get on our level.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, man, I thought it was so sweet, man. You guys should check it out. I don't even know my Twitter. I very rarely go on Twitter, but you know, if you follow Trox, you'll see it. He retweeted it, man. It was just a couple of concepts that came out, man. And I don't know. I think the court of public opinion says that, you know, they don't like our current iteration of uniforms so much. And actually, I liked them. You know, when they
Yeah,
first came, I didn't like this shade of Honolulu blue that they chose, but in
yeah.
terms of the font, you know, our that's our own font. I didn't mind it, man. I didn't mind it at all. They look pretty good, you know, generally speaking. And I hope we do, because I thought with the logo, with when they redid the logo and they chose that particular font too, kind of based off of that, I think it was perfect. But
Yeah.
I just wish, you know what, I really wish we would implement the one year we wore red uniforms. Have you ever seen any of those
I have
pictures,
not.
those
I have.
concepts?
I have not seen the concepts.
Yeah,
I might
we
have to
actually
go dig some of those up and
for
see
one
because
year, the Lions wore red uniforms, and I'm hoping that we can. I mean, I love the
what a
Honolulu.
Christmas Day
Look it up.
uniform special or
That'd be sick,
hey,
man. That'd be sick if
holiday
we could come out
special.
with something. Yeah, come out with something like that, man. But that's the buzz, man. I'm always interested in uniforms and kind of modernizing and coming up and, you know, looking at some new uniform concepts, man. I'm a sucker for that, bro. I just love to see it, you know, even with the University of Michigan again, you know,
Oh
let's
yeah.
break some of the traditional woes and let's get modernized, man. Let's catch up to the rest of the NFL, man, because something that I think is underrated, but when you start talking about recruiting, like what Dion say or Jerry Rice
Yeah.
said it, he said you look good, you feel good, you play good, man, that's could be very attractive. I mean, I know for grown men, NFL is all about the Benjamins, right? It's all
Right.
about the
Oh yeah.
But sometimes, man, I mean, that improved. Look at the Bengals. I think
Yeah.
the Bengals got some of the sweetest uniforms, bro. You know,
And then they implemented kind of like the white Bengal kind of
man,
feel with it, the
that's
all
sick,
whites.
bro. That all white is sick,
Yeah.
man. And the
See,
Lions tried to do it, but the helmet was throwing it off. So
yeah,
I agree with you.
yeah,
Break out that white, man. Come up
yeah.
with that white, all white, all black option. Yeah, man, I'm hyped on it. You
All
know,
white, all blue, all
all
like
black. Yeah,
yeah, like have it.
that'd be
And then you
sick.
could, and then that also could be a marketing ploy where, hey fans, we're all blue while the Lions were all blue.
Exactly.
We're having
Exactly,
the blue
man.
out day or
Yeah.
the
White
white
out.
out day or the black
Yeah.
out day. Like,
Blackout days. Yeah,
hey,
man.
paying homage to our days where we got our games blacked out.
Yeah, man. Look, I
Paying
think it'd be
homage to it a
sick.
little bit to where, hey, that's where we were. This is
Yeah.
where we at now, and y'all better get
Yeah.
with us because
Yep.
there's all dogs here.
Yeah, man. And the NFL they gave let teams have an alternate
Yeah,
helmet. So I think it's
yeah,
a perfect opportunity to take advantage of that, man. So we were actually up for new uniforms. I think it's every 5 years.
yeah,
So actually this season we could have implemented it where a
yep.
lot of teams did, but general manager said no. What's his name? I forgot
Rod
the guy
Wood.
that's Rob Wood. Yeah.
Yep, our
So,
vice. I think he's our vice president or president of.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So it's a lot of stuff that's brewing with the Lions, bro. It's a lot of stuff that's brewing. I think there's a lot of rightful excitement. You know, I can't wait to see as it unfolds. I'm following it just as closely as everybody else is. I'm glad to be here. We got us a new platform. Um, it's a lot of exciting things associated with the Lions, both from afar and personally. So I'm just looking for good things, man. Onward and upward, building this, especially building this platform. If anybody's tuning in, I just want to, on behalf of Detroit Lions Powerhouse, say welcome, and thank you for letting us into to our homes, to your homes. Um, Trox and I have been friends for a while now. It's just natural with us, but we do understand that there's kids. This is family. It's it's a clean environment. So spread it out. Send this around. It helps support us. We're going to build it from the ground up, but it's going to be done in a respectful, clean manner, and we're going to have a lot of fun. I got a big personality. I'm actually trying to keep it down a little bit, but we got some good things in store, man. And I'm just proud to be associated with my guy right here. And thank you for your time. Hit the like button, subscribe, do everything. We're going to keep growing it. We're going to have this powerhouse nation. It's going to be growing, but this is the very first one. So first of many, my man.
hey, I appreciate that, brother. Hey, appreciate that, and absolutely, we gonna do this the right way. Some of y'all might know me from other places. I've had multiple channels, and they kind of didn't work out as well. But guess what? I love my team. I'm not gonna stop.
Right.
This is home.
Mhm.
Detroit Lions, this is home, baby. Pistons, that's home. Like we about to do this thing,
Yeah,
and Powerhouse Sports Media is going to be a household name. So I definitely appreciate anybody that comes through. Whether it's a minute or the entirety of the show. I appreciate y'all, and man, let's get this grind on.
for sure, man. It's just good to have an outlet, where we're not, bickering, and it's just not, man. It's you have to real. I was born and raised, just so you guys know personally, born and raised in Saginaw, Michigan. I spent my first 17 years of life there. I've been gone now, believe it or not, going on 30 years, man. I'll be 47. But it's for me to kind of look back at Michigan, and expressed this to Trox. This is my heart. This is my home. So I don't like to look. We're really small, bro. So the infighting and all these divisive lines and people just fighting over that, it looks so silly to me from afar. because I've been gone for a very long time. And that's not to minimize the significance of everybody that's still there on that turf, because you know it from your perspective. But
Hey,
from a world and a global view, stepping back, bro, Detroit Lions, the Detroit community, all Michigan sports is very, very small. So I just want whoever comes on, whoever he invites on, man, listen, man, we don't have to play kumbaya. We ain't gotta, get, but what we can do is have some healthy discourse. Believe what you believe, see it the way you want to
absolutely.
see it, but be respectful to each other. We're all in the
There's
same boat. There's no
absolutely
one greater than and all of that. So that's why I'm so excited, because I do know this man personally, and that's what he's always embodied. So again, just it's a good place, man. We're gonna have guest spots where people come on. We got some exciting technology gonna be, coming out. I don't want to give that away. That's his baby. Is working, but I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be an interactive show, bro. So we're gonna take that all the way down. And if you disagree with it, disagree with it. Be
absolutely. Hey,
respectful though.
hey, like you said, there's gonna be some interactive stuff to where if you
Mhm.
disagree, as long as you keep it clean,
Yeah,
that's
man.
all I ask. Keep it clean, no
Yeah.
cursing, no this, that, the other. You ain't got to call me outside my name. We'll
Right.
have a healthy debate. You can record something for me. I'll look at it, and we can have a conversation. Or hey, you want to join me on the show live on air? If you can, control how you speak and stuff like that, we'll have a healthy conversation. I have no problems with it. Because my whole thing is sports has always brought people together. Why
Correct.
is the Detroit Lions community the only one that fights each other? It don't make no sense. We all don't have to be geniuses. We all just got to be fans of the game. And,
Mm-hmm.
and it, we can always agree to disagree. I might not be your kind of cup of tea, but somebody else might be. So I mean, the ones that are going to be here, we going to have some fun, and
Oh
hopefully
yeah.
we build this community the right way,
Yeah. Looking
just like
forward
Brad
to it,
Holmes and
man.
Dan Campbell building it the
Look
right
at
way.
that. Hey, great example right there.
Absolutely.
It's a great example. So, like I keep saying, I don't want to sound like a broken record, man, but I really believe in it. I believe in what we're doing as, a community, especially as Lions fans, but most importantly as an organization. That's our team collectively. So we're all, you got to remember, we all want the same thing. We all want to win, you know?
Absolutely.
So let's just get it together, man. And it's okay. Everybody got we're all sitting in our little homes being trying to be these great prognosticators and not getting paid for it. Well, I mean the YouTube stuff, but you get what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
It's
we all somewhat,
yeah, we're in the same boat, man.
yeah, we all couch
Yeah,
couch GMs and things like that.
yeah. That's it,
I
man.
mean, at the end of the day, though, you want to see the Lions win. I want
That's
to see the
it.
Lions win.
That's it.
We can all come together and figure out a way to where hey, I might want a running back, or you might want a quarterback.
Yeah,
But we can figure it out where it works, and,
yeah,
and that's at the bottom line. That's what it all matters is. Let's come together and show one pride.
yeah, man.
It's ride
One
or
pride.
die.
Say it
Like,
again.
hey, we bought it together.
That's it. That's for sure, man. So, yep. So it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, you got anything else you wanted to talk about, trucks? Anything we haven't
You you
covered?
you wanna get into the draft a little bit? We got
We can
about
get into it.
we got
We
about
can get
20
into it.
minutes, so
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
hit
For
that
sure.
2 hour mark and end it with some fire, some drafts.
Let's go,
So
man. Let's get it.
okay, first round we have 6 and 18.
Yeah.
To kind of play devil's advocate, okay, obviously, we need corner, we need safety, we need offensive line. What else do we need? I mean, outside. I mean, I guess we could go with that.
Linebacker.
Oh yeah, and linebacker. Obviously,
Mhm.
we know Brad Holmes ain't gonna do linebacker. Even though,
Yeah.
hey, if there's a TJ Watt,
Yeah.
DeAndre Levy type guy, hey, I don't care what you say. I won't bring him here.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, but if there's not, hey, then follow the golden rule and wait till middle rounds and things like that. Find yourself. See, my whole philosophy is this, though, with linebacker, and this is why I would draft a first round linebacker if there's a guy worthy of a first round pick.
Yeah.
Okay, last year we got Malcolm Rodriguez, right?
Jim.
Absolutely. Superstar, stud, right?
Yeah.
What if we would have paired him up with, say, one of the top prospects of last year's draft class?
Yeah.
How would that
Devin
linebacking
Gardner.
room would be now?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't try to take positions off the table.
Yeah.
But hey, Brad Holmes knows what he's doing. He's the one getting paid all the big bucks.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a couch GM, so
Yeah.
I ain't getting paid for it. Just giving my opinions.
Yeah. I just think, I mean, of course, I think you and I both agree Jalen Carter is like the guy that we both covet. I think
he's like
who
my
we
Penei
really
Sewell.
want.
Yeah.
We want at number 6. I mean, so let's explore this. Would you trade up to get him? And what scenario would you? Or would you absolutely not?
Depends on what I have to give up. I know you're gonna have to give up something, and that's granted. But am I going to have to give up an arm and a leg and 2 livers? Maybe to go up a few spots, 2-3 spots, or that's where if oh man, that's going back to devil's advocate. That's where the double-edged sword comes into play, because it's like if you don't want to do that and he don't fall there, now would you trade back and get a Brian Breezy?
Yeah,
because it's like, man, Jalen Carter would be everything we need, especially with a Lee McNeil. And then obviously, like we said, we got Aiden Hutchinson already locked down on one side. And then you got a 2-headed monster on the opposite side with Josh Pascal and James Houston. And then you still got, Charles Harris, and you got other guys like that. Like, I mean, you got some pieces.
Yeah.
So that that defensive line would be everything of it.
Yeah.
Most feared lines in all of football.
Oh, I think so.
Maybe even in history. I mean, I'm gonna go even that far.
Yeah,
because I'm on the Kool-Aid. All right,
all the way, right?
Doggone, I'm on the Kool-Aid. Hey,
yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's really, really. I mean, talking about value for the pick. I don't know what I would do to jump up to try to get Jalen Carter. I mean, it's probably going to take, just depending on how the board falls, but I don't think he's a top 5 pick, bro. It's just, I don't see him falling to us at all, because you got Chicago, Arizona. You've seen it.
Maybe 10 times where he did fall to me in a mock draft.
In a mock, yeah, but that mock
again, that's mock draft, right?
Weird.
I mean, they just gave my last one earlier today. They gave Chicago a wide receiver.
Oh yeah!
Out of all the talent in the world,
yeah, they
gave him a wide receiver, and it ain't even one of the top receivers either.
Yeah, so
I'm like,
yeah,
okay, I got to take this one with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So how do you feel about if we don't, like at 6, if he's off the board? I guess the ideal scenario would be to trade back, like you said.
I think so, and I think you could get some extra pieces where at that point, like we were saying earlier, at that point, now I got enough draft capital where I don't care. I could take a kicker in the draft.
Yeah.
Especially if it's
some pieces.
Yeah, because at that point we got more pieces. We could get more players on other positions.
Yeah.
And are you really gonna be hurt for a kicker? Really? Where that could be a make or break. Would you? I mean, hey, I would love a Justin Jefferson that. I'm sorry, Justin Tucker that could kick
Yeah.
67 yards.
Right. Who wouldn't?
You know, give some
Yeah.
payback on our pain. You know,
Don't
so
mention it.
hey, I'm still mad,
NFL
especially because
record
my
beats
other,
us. Yeah.
especially because my other team. You
Yeah,
know,
man. Oh,
especially
yeah,
because my other team. But
yeah. You're right, right,
hey, that's for a different
right.
channel.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so that one kind of stung, especially being NFL history. You know,
That's what I'm saying. It's just
yeah,
another way to
yeah.
lose.
But
Just
see, that's why I want something like that on my team, because now if I'm in that kind of situation for the game on the line, say
right,
maybe in the Super Bowl or in the okay, some might say, okay, well, trucks, we're the Lions. We'll never see a Super Bowl. Okay, fine. We've seen a conference championship. So in the conference championship, to try and punch our ticket to the Super Bowl,
right.
you know, what happens if we're at a 67-yard, and we're down by 3? Like, are you really going to test your luck and go for a field goal? I'm sorry, a Hail Mary,
Right.
where they're going to go and prevent defense,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and we're not the Aaron Rodgers, we're not the Patrick Mahomes, we're not the, all these prolific quarterbacks. So do you really want
Yeah.
to put yourself into that set of position where,
No.
hey, if I got a kicker, I know he got a leg,
You gotta
I
do
just
it.
throw my kicker out there. It's a safe bet. I'll win still by 1. It don't matter if you
Right.
win by a point or a mile. Win
Yeah,
is
right,
winning,
right. For sure.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where a trade back, could come into play. Where, hey,
Yeah.
if
It
Moody's
gives
that
an
guy or Rucker,
opportunity for
yeah,
more. Yeah, you get more talent through the
yeah,
draft. Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree with that 100%, man. That's why, again, when people look at it and they take this fantasy football approach to
Oh yeah,
kickers.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just come on, man. I get it.
Hey,
That's the last
hey,
pick.
fantasy football. I draft a kicker because I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
if you
be
can
boo
get.
boo the fool searching
Mhm,
every single week for a new kicker
mhm.
because, hey, this one put a dud this week.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, Justin Tucker. I mean, for real. I draft him not too high, but
Well,
I'll take him
yeah,
in the middle rounds because it's a
yeah,
crapshoot at that point.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So you really like trying to find these potential players with potential. Why not get a proven come
Fill
out
your
of the end?
starters.
It's a couple of days, yeah, for sure.
Fill your starters.
Yeah, see, you understand it. By the way, folks, me and Trox had a league, my league, man, and he beat me, fair and square in the championship, but also had
We also
quite a
had the Bengals Bills
yeah,
catastrophe,
yeah.
and
Josh
100% prayers
Allen.
up to DeMar. I'm glad that
Yeah, for
he,
sure. For
has
sure.
been being in the public, proving people wrong that, hey,
It's not a
he's real,
hoax.
he's alive, he's
Yeah,
not a
he's alive.
doppelganger, he's not a
Yeah,
paid actor, because that's what's been going around. And I'm glad that he's getting back healthy, and wish him nothing but the best.
for sure. Yeah, but yeah, that's what happened. So we kind of he ended up beating me in. Josh Allen, got like 6 points. So
Hey,
we kind of
I did ask him if he wanted to do a
yeah.
co-champ.
Yeah, co-champ. I mean, it's sort of like, co-national champion. So yeah, it's okay. I give him, I salute because he was consistent all season, as I was too. So, but yeah, back to reality. Looking at positions of need, I think the most pressing thing is trying to understand what's happening at the defensive tackle
Yeah,
position. Lee McNeil has shown some stuff, some promise. I don't Again, I think defensive tackle, we got to get some linebackers, bro. But Brad Holmes, I guess it's common knowledge, but he doesn't believe in taking like first round, second round, linebackers. He
yeah,
just felt like he has a history of getting them late in drafts, and what he
having
doubled
them,
downs because he
yeah,
got Malcolm Rodriguez. So it's just like, okay,
in the
well,
sixth round, like,
exactly. So there's a couple of players there. I was even did a mock today too. I had sent it over to you where I was I doubled down on corner, man. We traded back a couple of picks. With Carolina, I think we traded down to 9 and acquired another second round pick. So with that, we had gotten, I think I had taken, so strength of our team is both lines, and we look at the edge class, best player available philosophy does have to come into play, but man, we kind of loaded at edge. I mean, you can never have too much. And I always go back to how the Giants beat the Patriots, because they had so many fresh bodies to throw at New England. They just couldn't keep up with the OC Umenyiora and Justin Tucks, and they just had a lot of depth. Yeah, Michael Strahan.
I mean, come on, like the list can keep going.
Paul. Yeah, it was just they had a lot to throw at them. So, in today's mock, I had us trade back to 9, and we got that second round pick from them, but I had us taking that number 9, Miles Murphy. Edge out of Clemson.
I mean, that's a high value pick, though.
At number 9,
because I mean, that's another guy, of a Jalen Carter. It's like, is he going to be there? And to get him at 9, like, that's a high value pick. I mean, granted, you could go corner, that you could go this, that, the other, but. A lot of people are like, are you going to pick a corner in the top 10? A lot of people don't want corners at top 10.
Not in Detroit.
Especially not in Detroit.
Yeah. Jeff Okuda, 3. Yeah, but.
I mean, granted, Okuda, that was his very first full healthy year.
Correct.
And on top of that, he did not have his healthy secondary.
Correct.
Behind him. He didn't have his safety help. I mean, granted, he's the 3rd overall pick. He's not supposed to need some safety help. He's supposed to shut down half the field. Okay, great. Yeah. I mean, Sauce did his, and
good,
but a lot of that is a lot of coaching. Like Sauce came into a good coaching situation day 1.
Hold on now.
Hey, I'm going there. I'm going there.
Sauce a bad boy.
I mean, Sauce came into his normal regime, though. Like, Okuda came into the Boston Turds, Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn era.
It was
Nobody
unfair.
could coach you there. Like, I mean, I gave every single player that came from that era, I gave them a clean slate.
Yeah, for sure. That's what, like, what Okuda, you're saying it right. Yeah, you're correct.
Where now he finally has 2 years of real coaching and 1 year of actual game
health.
Yeah,
being healthy for the most part.
Absolutely.
That first year was a wash. I mean, everything flipped. It changed. Second year, he gets hurt. That's why I couldn't understand why everybody was rushing him into the bust category. Yeah. Okay. But it was a pandemic year. You couldn't properly evaluate talent.
Yeah.
We had the 3rd overall pick. What do you do? So I didn't fault them for picking Jeff Okuda because he was the number 1 quarterback coming out of a cornerback factory.
And
Ohio
then
State
on top
and LSU.
of that, on top of that, let's back it up even further.
Yeah.
We also lost our number 1 corner, and we just signed a bum in Desmond Trufant. Like, everybody knew he's not going to cover nobody.
No,
he couldn't even cover backpedaling. He had to turn his back and run like this.
Yeah. So
it had to be Jeff Okuda.
It was Jeff Okuda because nobody was trading, because again,
especially
they didn't have the right data. It was just everybody wasn't participating in the combines, and it's just a weird year. So for all the Jeff Okuda haters, I just didn't understand where it was coming from.
Yeah,
it was an incomplete.
Well, I feel like a lot of it wasn't because it was their guy.
Yeah.
Obviously everybody got their guy that they would want. Like me, I got Jalen Carter. Like, that's my guy. Last year it was Penei Sewell. The year before that, it was obviously Okuda and then TJ Hawkinson. Like, those were my guys. But I mean, granted, I got them right. But at the same time, it's like last year. We'll use last year. I wanted Traylon Burks, but we got Jameson Williams.
Destroyed
Now,
the draft, blew it up.
bro. I mean, real
This is a
talk.
bomb.
Well, real talk. Until I actually physically seen the trade,
Right.
like, well, you were on with me,
Right.
and yeah, we did not like that pick at first. Then we actually seen the actual, and then we were like, bro, they got fleeced.
Total.
Like fleece. And I think that's where the TJ Hawkinson kind of trade came down in the thing. Cause I feel like there was like, hey, you hook us up now. And then in the season,
Right.
if things are kind of looking a little shaky, we got you on the other end.
Right.
On the actual in-season trade. So
you think, that was a favor for a favor.
Favor for a favor, absolutely.
Yeah, well, Rick Spielman is the GM for
no,
Minnesota,
he's not no more.
isn't he? Oh, he's not?
He got canned a year or 2 years ago.
So,
I think it was they clean slated when Zimmer left.
Yeah, Zimmer left. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on in Minnesota or with Indianapolis.
I think a lot of it though, like, well, no, real talk, like you relations with all 32 teams.
Yeah.
At least in the front office. On the field, I mean, obviously, hey, I'm trying to beat you. You're my division rival. Like, but in the front office where it's more business, obviously you want to have good working relations with all 32 teams. And I think that's something that they were trying to establish, like, hey, look, we'll hook you up, you hook us up, we can at least have that, hey, we'll work with each other, kind of a working relation while still trying to get the best possible team on the field to where we're trying to beat each other up.
Yeah, for sure. So it worked out. I think it worked out for both teams.
Oh, yeah.
Both instances. We didn't lose anything with Hawkinson. I mean, not from a production standpoint. He was in this contract year.
Ever since that, we had 3 touchdowns by Zylstra, 3 touchdowns by Brock Wright.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you call it? And then on top of that, our rookie came into play. So
James
I mean,
Mitchell.
Yeah, he was able to get some reps and things like that. So I mean, when you can have a 3 touchdown game, by multiple tight ends, I mean, you didn't lose nothing. I mean, maybe a little bit of blocking up front.
I mean, I get it.
I mean, hey, I want all my guys to be able to block. If I'm relying on just TJ to block, you got more problems than you got in your mind, because hey, that's you. Everybody's supposed to be able to block.
Yeah. Well, I think it's safe to say tight end should not be on our draft board.
Right. Well, unless they're, I mean, like we were talking about though, if we have enough draft picks where at this point we're just drafting, like, I mean, if there's a Shoemaker, and he's been falling, like, all right, you know what? Come on home.
Well,
but we've already have all of our depth, all of our this, all of our needs. And stuff like that. If that's already all met, at that point, it's just like a kicker. At that point, you just, hey, that's an added depth piece. More competition is going to bring better dogs on the field. Because now they fought and they've been able to get that itch out their system where it's like, I deserve to be there. No, I deserve to be there. Well, hey, set it on the practice field. We'll see who deserves to be there on Sunday.
I'll tell you what, Trox. If we draft tight end, anything 5th round or higher, we'll turn around.
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
hey, kick all this stuff off my little bookshelf back there, man. I'm trying to tell you, because I'm gonna be upset, man. Now, if you
I'm talking about Shoemaker, like a 6th round, 7th round.
I'm not feeling that
again. Where I was talking about where we have more draft picks,
right,
due to maybe trading back, trading up, trading this, trading that, and like, hey, at that point, if we got still like 2 extra picks left,
Yeah.
and Shoemaker's there, and Moody's there. Hey, both of y'all come over here. Let's
Oh, for
go. And
sure.
there's our
Yeah.
draft. Like,
Yeah.
if that's our
Yeah.
last
And
two
then
picks, I'm
close it
cool
out.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's the scenario I was going for. But
Oh yeah.
we definitely got to walk out of this draft. I think, putting a ribbon on it. We gotta. I guess we gotta do something about this defensive tackle, and we need more of a point holder than a pass rushing type defender.
Yeah.
You want some pressure to come up, in the quarterback's face, but I mean, we got to be able to stop the run, man. And that's
Yeah.
the only problem. It's like, what's the right philosophy, right? So when we look at the best defensive tackle play we ever had is when we had Ndamukong Suh and Skinny Legs out of Auburn. What's his name?
Nick Fairley.
Yeah, Nick Fairley. I wasn't a fan of. Don't get me wrong. I like the result, but I always said when you have two pass rushing defensive tackles, that's when we
Yeah.
got ran on so much that people couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
But again, if both defensive tackles are trying to get up the field as quickly as possible, and that was including a wide nine scheme, draw plays, that's going to kill you. And
Yeah.
if you don't have a capable or a competent middle linebacker, because Stephen Tulloch was a good linebacker, but he was just slow. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm
Because he
telling
was
you?
getting up
So
there in age too.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was aging. So it was just like I don't want to recreate that because you got to have a point holder. So
Yeah.
that's why I kind of like a lean because he's such a big body. He could almost be a
He's a
nose
run
tackle if we.
grader though too, a little bit. Like if you get him some help next to him, he's a run grader.
That's what I want. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So the Jalen Carter kind of is a do-all from what I
Yeah.
could see. I got to see Brian Breesy a little more. I mean, I hadn't gone too far into it, but we could walk out with a defensive tackle, a linebacker, a corner definitely. I'm a fan of double dipping. I was talking to you earlier too
Yeah.
about in the mock it just happened to we nabbed Joey Porter at 18, and then Keely Ringo for some weird reason fell to the second round. So I double dipped. I'm like, okay, but think about that. Complete the set. You're
Yeah.
talking about nickel and dime sets are now covered. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you got Jeff Okudah, Keely Ringo, Joey Porter Jr., and then
And guess what? Now if people don't like Will
Chase.
Harris, you
Yeah,
got your way to just to say goodbye because guess what? He's a
yeah,
free agent.
you do. And now the cornerback room is complete.
Yeah. And then you got Chase Lucas too.
Chase
So
Lucas, a
yeah.
young talent developing, more competition, Jerry Jacobs,
Yep. And Jerry Jacobs can actually play a little bit of safety if you really want to
yeah,
think about it
so
too. So it's like,
yeah, you might be all right, man. So
yeah,
I'm curious to see what's going on because you mentioned it earlier with the safeties. Tracy Walker, out of Illinois last year that sent Aaron Rodgers out of what's his name again?
Kirby Joseph.
Herbert Joseph. We love that
Yep.
pick.
Actually, you know
Sean
what?
Elliott.
Another player that a lot of Detroit is loving is Devon Witherspoon, Kirby Joseph's teammate.
Yeah. So, and that'd be cool. I get it, but that's secondary, man. I just
But
think that's
hey,
gonna,
I will say this: that boy lays some heat. Hey, you
yeah,
want to talk about some Troy Polamalu type stuff
yeah,
out the cornerback position? Like,
yeah,
bruh, hey,
yeah, man. I got to get into all my player evaluations. I
hey,
hadn't gotten them.
hey,
I ain't got them all just yet.
first
So,
person to go watch Devon Witherspoon. Another
okay.
person to watch, and this is one of my personal favorite linebackers. I know I don't go to this university for linebackers, but Overshadow, I think his name is, or Overshown or something like that.
I've
Out
seen
of
the name.
Texas.
Yeah,
Out of
yeah,
Texas.
yeah,
I ain't never seen somebody lay some heat like that. Bruh, hey, you want to talk about run stop? Hey, he
yeah,
might be causing some fumbles.
yeah, yeah,
Possession for our offense.
yeah. I'm looking forward, man. I'm gonna start doing. I've been kind of slowly getting into, some of the draft prep stuff, and player profiles. I really pick it up, obviously, at the NFL Combine.
Yeah,
When
that's
that
where I
comes
have
up.
my
So
Where's my? Oh, it's over there. But I'll show you my from last
Notebook.
year. I'll show you my paper. I
Yeah,
write down
yeah,
all the
man.
40 times and this, that, the other,
Yeah.
and then I
Yep.
go back and watch the film
You
of
got
the
to look at it,
combine,
man.
and then I go from the combine film, and then correlate that to game film from their
That's
actual college,
if they
and see if it
match.
see if it matches, because that
Yeah.
obviously they're now training for combine. They're not
Yeah, yeah.
game type training.
It's different.
They're
It's
yeah.
different. Yeah. That's what I always said. I think GMs they put of course you want to have measurables. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah.
How fast they are, blah blah. But a lot of times they're all world class. The majority are world class athletes.
They
So we're
wouldn't be
splitting
where they at
hairs,
if they're
right?
not. Absolutely.
Yeah, but always look at the case of like say Saquon Barkley. I mean that's recency bias, right? But to see him play at Penn State and then to see how he performed at the combine, to me, that was a slam dunk
Yeah.
because the combine numbers matched the college tape. But then
Yep.
when you go to someone like workout, okay, I don't know if you remember Bruce Campbell, right? This guy
Yep.
was an offensive tackle that got drafted by the Raiders, and it was like Mike Mamula all over again, or these workout wonders. I mean,
Yeah.
and the Raiders they bought it. Now
Yeah.
he actually I think he played 6, 7, 8 years. Bruce Campbell did, but he was just a workout wonder.
Yeah.
So where was that during the regular season? Come to find out, as athletic as that man was, 6'6", 6'7", 303 pounds, ran the fastest 40 ever for a tackle. It's
Yeah.
not all about speed, people. It's about
Yeah.
technique. It does matter. So, yeah, that's
That's
why I
why
try
I
to use it.
always that's why I always tell people, like, hey,
Yeah,
sometimes if yeah, I could be the fastest, yeah, I could be this, I could be that, but if you don't have the fundamentals
yeah,
and the
man.
proper technique,
Yeah,
I got you dead as fried chicken, like,
exactly,
easily. That's why I
exactly.
always tell, like, that's why, I mean, I never played offensive line, but I've played on a football field and I've watched a lot of football.
Of
My
course.
biggest pet peeve is you're get the hands on here.
Yeah,
Why is your hand
outside,
here when it
outside the
needs to be
framework.
right here?
Yeah.
Get your hand in their underarms, pinch their underarm, and go.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when you square it up like that, you drop your butt, move your feet. You got them squared. You got them dead in their tracks.
But
You know.
see, that and that's why one prospect that you love, I'm almost worried about him because he loses some of that technique.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite guard? Cyrus?
Osiris Torrance. Yeah, I like him, but then I also like Voorhees out of
Yeah.
what college is Voorhees out of?
Yeah. I
Oh my
have no
goodness,
clue.
it's on the tip of my tongue. But anyways, Voorhees, I think it's Tennessee. Is it?
Is
Or
it you thinking about TCU?
I think it might be TCU.
The guard out of TCU, I think I know what you're talking about.
Hold on, let me do this real quick, because now that's gonna bother me if I don't figure it out. Um, player pool, offense, guard, USC,
You oh,
Andrew
okay.
Voorhees.
Andrew Voorhees, okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
actually like him too.
okay.
Like I said, there. I mean, yeah, he might not be a college that I would go to, and this, that, the other for players. But at the same token, if they have the fundamentals and they have the skill set, then I'm gonna lean towards that,
Yeah,
because I feel like it's not where you come from. It's the talent and the God given ability that you got. Like, if you got the
true,
fundamentals,
true.
it doesn't matter if you came from no name college or the number one college. Well, right now would be Georgia because they're national champion.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't matter if you went from to Georgia or you went to no name college. Like, if you have proper technique and you play at a high level, you know, then I'm going to lean towards you because you got the proper technique. I don't need
Yeah.
you to be the fastest. You're an offensive lineman. You're pretty much going 5 to 10 yards.
Yeah.
Either forward or backwards about 10
Correct.
yards. Like,
Especially in the case of Bruce Campbell. Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. In what scenario are you running 40 yards as fast as you can as
hey,
a tackle?
hey,
I
if
mean,
you're running
maybe on a
40
screen.
yards, you got some
Yeah,
more major issues.
I guess so, man. Screen or I don't know where it would come from, but I mean, there are. I kind of look at the institutions. I mean,
Well, yeah. I
it
mean, yeah,
so lineage does come into play, but I do agree with what you're communicating. It is about technique can trump athleticism sometime.
yeah,
Yeah, sometimes you could be so athletic that, in the case of a Von Miller, I remember him coming out of, you know, Texas A&M, bro. When I seen that this guy was like parallel with the deck,
yeah,
the bendiest
yeah.
dude I've ever seen around the corner, well, that don't grow on trees. That's
Yeah,
where athleticism really does like come
exactly.
into play, but that's for his position because it's predicated on speed, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah, but
converting
see,
speed to
yeah,
power. Yeah,
and that's where
right.
that's where I'm like, it doesn't matter, the school if you have the skill set,
Yeah,
proper tools, and
yeah,
you do it at a high level. You know,
yeah.
I could go to A&M, Texas A&M, and go get a Von Miller, or I could go get, I mean, yeah, I might not go there for, that type of
Quarterback.
player, yeah, like a linebacker or DN or, but if he's the best player at that school, I gotta look at him because that's
Yeah,
doing your due diligence.
right. For sure. Yep. So yeah, some of these player evaluations, like I said, I'm just kind of getting that underway. I like
Oh
to
yeah,
know what I'm looking at when I start looking at the combine, so I'm generally ready, to kind of see. Okay, here's a couple of names. I'm looking at them. Been looking at some tape. This is sort of the beginning time for me. Post Super Bowl, I'm really starting to look at that stuff, and I have my list. I don't have it together just yet, but I just kind of understand how our team is right now, and I just want us to get a linebacker, dude. But I mean, there you go. Brad showed 6th round. Malcolm Rodriguez. His philosophy works, man. That's a all rookie team.
yeah,
What can you say?
I will say this. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of what I did on a mock draft earlier today.
Okay.
Now on this, I made a couple trades. I don't know exactly the teams and this, that, the other. But I have 6, 18, 33, 11, 44, or 144, 154, 155, 175. And then I had like 183, and that's where I picked at 183, that's where I picked um Jake Moody.
Yep.
So 6, I went Jalen Carter.
Hmm.
18, Devon Witherspoon. Now,
Okay.
a lot of people are gonna crucify me on this one because I did pass on one of the top corners.
Keely.
Yeah, Keeley. I
Randall.
passed on
Yeah.
him for Devon Witherspoon.
Okay.
I just feel like if I can get myself an extra possession from a fumble, or some physicality and things like that, that's what I was looking at. And then I went Osiris Torrance at 33.
All right.
So
Okay.
I went in the best defensive tackle, the best offensive guard, with, in my opinion, for the Lions, the best fitting corner.
Okay.
Again, my opinion. I mean, everybody's opinion is different.
Right.
Um, Now Cy, you probably gonna get me a little bit because I kind of went to a position. But this was also based on who I thought was going to be there as
Okay.
far as coaching. So I went Kenny McIntosh at 111 out of Georgia because I thought Dell McGee was going to be our
running back coach.
You
Right.
know, and then after that, I went safety. I went DeMarco Helium, the safety out of Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
and then the guy that you brought up earlier today, uh, Diane Henley out of Washington State, linebacker at 154, and then
Love him.
155. Because I was at this point, I'm just like, okay, we already locked up basically every single position.
Right.
So at this point, I'm like, okay, they're started sending me trades, and I'm like, well, okay, can I just trade out of this pick and just pick up some extra picks for next year?
Right.
They're
Right.
declining it. They just wanted. I'm like, all right.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? They being a dummy, I'm gonna be a dummy. So I declined the trade and picked Luke Schoonmaker, tight end out of
Mm-hmm.
Michigan. And
Yep.
then at 175, Max Duggan, and then the end of the draft, which was Jake Mooney.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, yeah, I picked a tight end. Yeah, I picked a running back. I mean, not areas really of need,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I mean,
Yeah.
like, but I got a defensive tackle. I got our corner. I got our guard. I got our safety. I got our linebacker. I got our quarterback. Like, I got all of our major needs, and plus I got our kicker.
Yeah.
You know, at that point, I added a running back and tight end. Hey, bring better competition because competition breeds better results.
Yeah. For sure. Well, I'll share mine then. To end it. Um, I go in detail. That's what I sent you. With our first pick, of course, we know we have the 6th overall pick. I went ahead and traded back to number 9 and with Carolina, acquired their second round pick and a 2024 second round pick. Right? I don't know how realistic that is, but it accepted it. So I accepted it. We took Miles Murphy. Then we picked that was with the number 9 pick. With our 18th pick, we actually took Joey Porter Jr. Traded back. I traded with okay. So I'm trying to figure out how this thing went. We went Miles Murphy, Joey Porter, traded, picked up Keely Ringo with pick number 45. That was an acquired pick from trading with Baltimore. Moro Ajomo. Now I had to look him up, right? Because I watched that Texas game this year with Texas and Tennessee, right? One of the best games of the year, bro.
Yeah.
And that's just an odd name, but this guy is, I think he's a senior. He's a defensive tackle. Never quite lived up to the billing, but he was just a high, star player. And he never really lived up to what it was. Because you remember, Texas was going through Charlie Strong. They're going through regime changes. So he's another guy like, say, Deshaun Hand. Never properly developed at Alabama, but had the potential to do something. Obviously, it didn't work out with Deshaun. But that's why I picked him. We needed a defensive tackle. Deion Henley. Again, because the name was there, I'm just being transparent. I wasn't overly familiar with him, but
once you
when
put
I
on that
turned
tape,
on it, when I put on that tape, I'm like, oh my God. When I'm talking
I got
about,
you.
yeah, hit it.
Oh my God.
Trust me, man. When I saw this dude playing, I'm like, yeah, good pick. For where it's at, and that was number 65 overall. Steve Avila out of TCU. I mean, you saw TCU's running game this year.
Yeah.
That's a guard. So that's the lead guard for them. Pick 93. Didn't really like the Deuce Vaughn. I know he's a little running back. He's a scat back, but he's a specialist. Give some more diversity to the room. But you did remind me of how small DeAndre Swift was. I just didn't know he was that small. But Deuce Vaughn is even smaller. I just
Snap.
looked at him as he's like 5'6". He's a little tiny dude, but
Ooh.
that also affects special teams play too.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you could put
yeah,
throw him at as a return man.
return man as well. Yeah, in case we lose the Khalif Raymonds of the world,
Yeah,
you're not going to have JMO back there returning punts. Let's face it.
yeah, no.
Then 186, I got Ronnie Bell out of Michigan, good possession receiver. Just because, I mean, that's
Go blue,
pick
baby.
186. Yeah, and then let's end it with Jake Newton, with the last pick. So again, it's just really the first mock, using PFF. How realistic is it? I mean, people can watch the video and sling our name in the mud. I mean, this is not a well thought out, contrived like final mock. This is what I
Oh
got.
yeah,
It's my first one, and it was fun to do. And I
oh
think that's
yeah.
what initiated us. We up early in the morning talking about draft. I'm like, man, bro, it's just way too early, but I had to share it. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely. I
yeah,
mean,
man, it's that time.
exactly. Like this is the off season. We're gonna have more mock drafts.
Oh
Obviously, as the
yeah, yeah,
combine comes through, the
yeah,
pro days come through. We're gonna have more mock drafts,
yeah,
and we're gonna start narrowing a lot of this stuff down. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm super high on Jalen Carter. I know Cy, you are too. If we can land him,
sure.
I mean, we hit the lottery with the 6th overall pick. Now we got the 18th pick that we got to worry about. You
Right.
know, and and things like that. So, hey, it's that time though.
Yeah,
But we still got to get through free agency, which that's coming up next month, and then we got
yeah,
a couple more weeks, and we'll have the draft combine because that's coming up this month, and then after that, I mean, hey, we got
yeah,
pro days and second wave of free agency and then the draft, then the last wave of free agency, and we're going into OTAs and rookie mini camps.
yeah, man. It sneaks up on you.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
It does. I mean, it's like it feel like it's taken forever, but man, I can't believe the season is already over with already. You know
I
what I mean?
know.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, football is like 365, bro. It's the ones. That's why football is king in America. I understand what the genesis and what baseball is supposed to represent, but football is king,
Yeah.
people.
Oh yeah.
It just is in America here. And it's so funny. I was laughing with, again, my granddad. My granddad's 92. Shout out to my granddad,
Hey.
but it'd be 93 in August. But he and I were talking about it the other day, and I said it's just so funny how football in America trumps everything. And you talk about the most popular sport in the world is soccer, and that is like it's so far down on the totem pole. I mean,
Yeah.
our kids might, play soccer, but that's not now. Me personally, I can't. I've tried it, and here's a little funny thing, right? I had a friend that told me it was so ridiculous, my reason for not watching soccer. But I actually tried to watch soccer. And you remember the Vuvuzelas when
I
this was
think so.
way back when in Africa, and they just kept
Oh
blowing the
yeah.
Vuvuzelas. The one time I tried to give freaking soccer a try, it was during the Vuvuzelas, and I told a buddy of mine, he's like, man, do you know that's like saying I don't watch NBA basketball because somebody's behind the free throw with the big foam finger going on. I was like, dude, it was just so annoying. It's a hard thing to watch, but football is king, man. It never stops.
Yeah.
It's always, and I say I don't watch super soap operas and all that, but this is the biggest drama filled
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Just it's always with sports collectively. There's a lot of drama, but
I mean,
man, it's
look
just
at the
king.
NBA.
Yeah, just Kyrie Irving. Oh God, it's what is going on there. But different topic for a different show, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, but you gotta love sports, man.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, it's the great uniter.
Yeah.
I mean, it teaches you a lot in life. It's good that
Absolutely.
I have our kids. It's generally your first introduction to adversity,
Yeah.
and adversity while you're going through it doesn't feel good, but the lessons that it teaches, and it teaches you how to get knocked down and get back up, and keep trying until you climb that mountain.
Dan
One of the
Campbell.
best. Yeah, for sure, man. And I love it. I love it. That's what we need. That's what our youth is missing, man.
Exactly.
Forget all this AAU and buying them everything they need. Just go get it out the mud sometime.
Yep.
So I think that's
Put
what's
your cleats
happening.
on. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
absolutely.
You got to go get it out the mud, and that's why I like sports. Some people are just too smart for sports. I think we're two pretty bright guys. I have a lot of varying interests, but this is just one thing that I really can, appreciate.
Oh yeah. Oh
So,
yeah.
yep. So, but my man, I gotta go.
Hey, your boy does too.
Yeah,
So
man. So it's been a blast.
absolutely. I appreciate you. Hey, appreciate you for being on the first episode uh of Grit Don't Quit podcast, episode 1. So appreciate you, Cy.
Yes,
Hopefully this
sir.
ain't the last time you're on the show.
No, it won't be the last time, my man.
Hey, absolutely. I appreciate that. And hey, are you doing anything for the draft?
For the draft? No, I had a couple of ideas, but one kind of reigned supreme, over all else, man. I hope I could come right here and see how well we do with our final mock drafts as they relate to real life.
Hey, that's gonna be fire because my door is open for you, my brother, and I have a seat wide open for you.
I
So,
will be
hey,
right here on Detroit Lions Powerhouse for the 2023 draft, bro. Wouldn't have it any other way. That's from the heart.
hey, appreciate that. You know what I gotta get for you that one?
There you go.
The fight song, baby.
You know who it is. You know what it's about. Oh, you gonna make this big boy get
On
up?
the field, yeah, will not yield.
That's right.
When the blue and silver wave, stand and cheer the brave. Rah, rah, rah. The game.
Nope.
Come on. Down the field again. A Lions victory. Go Lions. Hey, you heard it here first.
We got it. Yes, sir.
Cy Gray.
That's it. My man
Here
Trox.
and in action. But with that being said, hey, appreciate everyone who did come out. With that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Side, you got anything last words?
No, sir. Everything is good.
All righty.
Future's bright.
I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful night.